everybody, what's going on? It's Friday again. It's our favorite show of the week. And look, I have blonde hair. Temporarily.
Yeah.
I think I've worn this one a couple times before.
On the show? Yeah, I think so, on the show.
Maybe at least one time.
Yeah.
This is like one of my newer ones. Not
Yep.
usually a look I would do, but it's kind of cool.
That looks good.
It's kind of cool.
Okay. Looks like everybody's there. They're all winding up today. It's Friday, of course.
Hell yeah.
And this is our Sidetracks show, which is basically open lines Friday. Anything you guys want to talk about, any of the old cases, any questions you may have, we'll talk about them. We'll ask them. You know, you can ask them. Just drop it in the comment section, and we'll get to you.
Even though we probably won't remember all the details of it.
We can dig up all kinds of shit. I'm actually kind of sleepy, so I'm gonna try to drink this and wake up.
Yeah, you need to wake up. You
Yeah.
can't be snoozing the back there. You
Yeah.
gotta pull your weight.
Yep. Drinking vodka and apple juice. And we'll see who's here. Who we got in the comment section?
CB's here. Kevin Smith is here. Kevin Donovan is here.
Okay.
Tammy's here. Papa77 is
Okay.
here. Kevin Donovan says, "Did a little? Is that a little dick thing? Where are you going to party tonight? We're not going anywhere tonight.
Not
We're
tonight.
going out tomorrow night. Though. We
Yeah.
usually do the Saturday night thing.
Yeah.
There are things going on Friday night, but it's like, and we do that every now and then. But I don't know. I always feel like it's such a rush, you know, because I always have to get ready like before
the show.
and it's so I have to start getting ready at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And all this other stuff because I take forever, and then I feel like we have to rush off the show, and it's kind of not so fun, you know. So and honestly, the only reason we went out on Fridays before was because Memento Mori was on Fridays sometimes, but they've moved that to Saturdays also.
Yeah.
So now we don't really, unless we want to go to Mannequins, there's really nothing else going on Friday nights.
Yeah.
So, oh shit, I gotta look up what day of the week that A Starry Night show is. It's next month.
Is it? Okay.
It's July 12th.
All right.
Which I don't know what day of the week that is.
Yeah, we haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah, because I did the poster for it. So Michael was calling me about the poster.
Yeah. They're a good band. If you guys ever heard of Starry Night?
It's them
Yeah.
and DJ Mouse is gonna be there, and it's 2 other bands.
Yeah.
Dead Cool and Lust are the other 2 that are over there.
It's spelled ASTARINITE.
Yeah.
They got videos on YouTube and shit.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
They're cool. CB said, I watched Venom 3 today. The end was a bit shit.
I liked it.
It was alright.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was alright. Didn't we see that in the theater?
They're superhero movies, man. What the fuck you expect?
We saw that in the theater, didn't we?
Yeah.
What did we watch? What did we watch last night? Did we watch a movie last night?
Yeah, we did. I don't remember what it was, though.
Huh.
No, we saw it was that horror movie. That 80s horror movie, wasn't it?
That's like really weird. I just like completely forgot.
We watched something, but I forgot what it was.
I remember like when you were down like taking a shower and stuff like that, I was watching some Company Man videos because I got behind on those.
No, I guess it wasn't last night. You watched something.
I watched MST.
You
No,
watched
oh,
MST,
okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, you watched.
I watched. Well, at first I watched riff tracks of this 80s as fuck movie, called Sunset Strip.
Sunset Strip, yeah.
And one of the scenes was like so fucking funny, like in this nightclub, and I was like, holy crap.
At least it had nudity in it.
And then Mike made the comment, he's like, this scene is so 80s, you can see it from space. Yeah. And I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm like, that was exactly what I was thinking. It was this woman in like a pink glittery leotard that looked kind of like Kate Bush, and she was like there was like see-through, so you could see her titties and stuff.
Yeah,
and
there was a lot of titties in it.
There was a lot of titties in that movie, because it was like there was a whole bunch of scenes in a strip club and stuff like that. Because that's kind of the cool thing about riff tracks, is they can pretty much do whatever movies they want to, so they don't. Because MST, they had to, since they were on cable, they had to like censor nudity and swearing and stuff like that, but they don't do that on the riff tracks ones, so they can do all kind of fun movies. But I'd never seen this one. Tubi has a fuck ton of riff tracks, and here's the thing, it's like I don't, and that's just like a small sampling, because they do probably every fucking movie that comes out, they do a riff tracks of it, because all they have to do really, it's a pretty genius business model, because technically all they have to do is watch a movie and make a funny like commentary over it, and then they sell the audio file, and then you watch the movie yourself, so you pay for the movie yourself and then sync up the audio file with it. But they have a bunch that are pre-made, like if the movie is like in the public domain or whatever, so a lot of those are on Tubi, and they have a lot of the live shows that they did there too, which were like super funny. They only do a couple of those a year, and they usually raise money on Kickstarter to do those, and they always do them in a theater in Nashville, and then like they kind of do them to other theaters. Like I said, I think the one we went to was the Manos one, the funniest one ever.
Yeah.
I don't know, the Birdemic one was pretty
Manos
fucking
and
funny.
Birdemic.
Those are the two best.
Yeah, I
ones.
saw them live in the fucking theater.
Yeah, those were fucking great.
Good.
Those were fucking great. But yeah, I watched that Riff Tracks because I'd actually never seen that one, and then I watched an old MST, like one of my favorite ones, which was Girl in Gold Boots. So I wanted to do like kind of a sleazy Hollywood.
You think
like
they'd be able
double
to stream
feature.
those live also over Amazon?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess Amazon can't provide live streaming. Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but I mean, they do like shit like Hulu and everything like that. They do live sports and shit, so it's
Yeah,
like
so
you'd
why
think.
couldn't you?
Yeah, you'd think they'd be able to. They have that. They have the technology.
It'd be the same thing, yeah. Yeah, if they can do live sports, they could do live.
Yeah, because I mean, I think Hulu and HBO Max are kind of known for doing
Because if you
live
could
sports.
stream that live from home on a fucking Riff Tracks, they'd make a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to leave. You don't have to leave your home.
I mean, it is kind of more fun going to the theater, but
It is, but a lot of people won't go.
a lot of people won't go. Yeah.
Yeah, the crowd would be bigger if you could stream it from home.
Yeah.
You could do both. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could just give people the option, just like they do
Yeah.
with most of the movies that come out
Yeah.
nowadays. I was still waiting for fucking Bring Her Back to come out on streaming, but it hasn't yet, I don't think.
It will.
But it eventually will. I don't necessarily want to pay $20 for it. Although we were thinking it's like, well, paying $20 to watch it at home, that's cheaper than going to see it in the theater.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's almost half the cost.
yeah, so it might be worth it. But I don't know. We'll see. I think the newest one I saw on there was The Monkey, which I do still kind of want to see that.
Yeah.
But I didn't see how much it was to rent it. Oh, Tammy says Amazon has NASCAR races live. We'll see.
Yeah.
There you go then. There you go. And the thing about Rift Tracks and MST have their own channels, like on Pluto and everything like that. But I think I don't know if they do anything live on there though. Like they usually just play like old episodes all the time. But I don't know. Like I said, the live theater things they do are, I think they usually just do one or two of those a year. Maybe just one a year. I think we missed the last one. I don't even remember what it was. We went to the Manos one. We went to the Birdemic one. They did one of the giant spider invasion, which they actually did that on MST, and that's actually one of my favorite episodes because that movie is it's so fucking ridiculous. But I mean, the Rift Tracks live version of it was good too. Next Dimension Media says Amazon also has NFL Thursday Night Football streaming as long as you don't mind the screen freezing every 20 seconds. Yeah, I'm not a big sports person. Well, I'm not a sports person at all, so I wouldn't know anything about that. So, Kevin said, "What's up, Tom and Jenny? We're dashing as always." Well, thank you very much. Papa77 said, "I pay so much for all the streaming apps. I wish for cable TV back." Well, you know what? I don't really mind it. It is kind of expensive, I guess, but at least you can kind of pick and choose the ones you want. Because I don't have all of them. I don't even think we have Netflix anymore. No. Because I think y'all were saying, oh, you need to watch that Fred and Rose West documentary. And I was like, yeah, we should watch that. And then, like, when we went to Netflix, it's like, Tom's like, I don't think we have Netflix anymore. I think I stopped paying for it.
Yeah, I stopped paying for it. Forgot about it.
I had my own account for a while, but I think I also stopped paying for it.
Yeah. Because I hadn't watched it in so long, and then I forgot that I killed it.
I think the last thing we watched on there, like we rewatched Stranger Things, like back when the new season came out. But yeah, I don't think I've watched anything on there since we watched Wednesday, but the new season of that isn't out yet. So there is shit on there I want to watch, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll just get because they do have a cheaper version that has commercials, like most other streaming services have. But honestly, between the ones that we have, I mean, we have what? Amazon Prime, Hulu, Max, and Shudder, and the free ones. We can usually find what we want. You know? I mean, Amazon Prime has almost everything. Like, sometimes you gotta pay to rent it, but it's usually like only a couple of bucks. So, as long as if it's old. And they have a lot of free shit, too. And the free ones like Tubi and everything like that, they have a fuck ton of stuff. Especially horror movies. He might be here tonight, I don't know, but our friend from Dollar General sent me a huge list of all these horror movies on Tubi that he recommended. I'd seen some of them, but not all of them, and then he sent me another list today, so I have to go through that list also. I started watching one of them yesterday, but then I got a bunch more work and I didn't have time to finish it, but it seemed like pretty good from the beginning. You know, just because I probably watched like half an hour of it maybe, and then I had to do something else. But
yeah, Papa's complaining that he pays so much for fucking streaming that he had cable back.
Yeah, I just said that.
Yeah, well, must have been in the restroom.
No, you were there.
Okay, I must have been thinking about something else. I was saying that, no, you don't want cable back, dude. No, you just got to be careful what you're streaming. I've found that Amazon Prime, if you want to see new shit, just be willing to pay for it. That one and Hulu. Hulu's got a lot of shit on it for free, and Tubi too.
Well, Tubi has, especially if you like horror, they have a fuck ton of horror movies. Like, there's commercials, but it's not really that big.
I think you subscribe to it, right?
You can. You don't have to.
But
you can
our version is the free version, right?
You can, yeah. Tubi, you can just watch it without even signing in. If you sign in, it will remember like what you watched before, and it'll save your progress, and it'll suggest movies based on what you like most of the other ones do. Yeah. But you don't have to do that. Yeah. Like, you can just watch it without signing in.
Yeah, I was impressed with Tubi though. Tubi's got everything.
Yeah, they have a lot of good stuff.
A lot of fucking classic horror movies, a lot of classic shit on there. And good movies, and it's in HD. They'll give you like the new versions, remastered versions of old shit from the 80s and 70s. And it's not that many commercials. It's not like old broadcast television where every fucking 5 minutes they're interrupting you. Yeah. You know, it's you're gonna get maybe 2 commercials out of a movie. Maybe 3.
It's pretty reasonable. Yeah. I've found. And like I said, I don't mind if I don't have to pay for it. And to be honest, like I said, I think Amazon Prime is probably the best deal because they have seemingly the largest library. Yeah. And if you pay for Amazon Prime, you also get like free shipping and you get other shit like on top of it, like not just the movies.
And a lot of the movies are free if you have Amazon Prime.
Yeah, they have a surprising amount that are free. Hulu is good for Hulu doesn't have a lot of old horror movies, but they have like a lot of good series. Like they have like The Handmaid's Tale and all that kind of stuff, which, man, I need to get back and watch.
Yesterday I was on YouTube and got a commercial that I actually watched. That commercial was about 4 minutes long, and it was the new commercial for Alien Earth. It looks good. Yeah. It's a Ridley Scott series in the alien world.
Yeah, that's going to be on.
It's going to be badass. Yeah, the main character evidently is a human, a girl, who was the first person to get downloaded into a synthetic body. And for life, she was dying. And she's the main character. Which is the only thing I don't like about fucking aliens is they always try to reinvent Ellen Ripley in every fucking episode, you know? What are the chances of that? You're never going to catch that lightning in the bottle again. Let a dude, star in an alien movie for once.
Or just a different kind of person.
Or a different kind of person, right. But, it sounds badass. It looks like fucking Blade Runner. A lot of people don't realize that the alien world is taking place in the same world as Blade Runner. Ridley Scott's future is always the same future. And there's a lot of showing back on Earth, and it looks like fucking Blade Runner. And evidently, these big corporate moguls have collected at least 3 or 4 different kinds of aliens and things that they found in the traffic. And they're trying to crossbreed them into something. And the xenomorph, I guess, is one of them that they're going to try to crossbreed with these other things. But they don't blow the whole premise of the movie. That's just the basic setup. So it looks really good.
It doesn't start till August something.
August. It's a miniseries. I think they said, what was it, 6 episodes?
Or 8. I think it's 8. I think 8's pretty standard.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be like 8 movies. And that last one that we saw, I was very happy with it. What was that last one? Alien.
Which one? Covenant?
No. Was it Covenant? No. After Covenant.
Oh yeah, shit. What the fuck was that called? Oh crap! It was right on the tip of my tongue.
Romulus.
Romulus. There
Romulus. Yeah, Romulus was good.
I actually really liked Romulus. Yeah.
Yeah, they brought back. That same robot from the first Alien movie. What was his name? Bishop. No, Bishop was the second robot. First robot.
Who? Ash.
Ash. That's right. Is the same model as Ash. His face is CG. Looks just like that guy. And it sounds just like him too. I guess they used AI to recreate his voice.
Yeah, I think it was partially AI and partially like a voice impersonator.
Yeah. And really, like, one of the main characters in it is I think he's a Weyland Yutani. Who made the robot? Wasn't it it was a Weyland Yutani robot.
Yeah.
Who was just a basic worker, and they were used like in mining operations. And he just looks like a young black guy, and he's a robot. It's pretty good. Yeah. When you first meet him, you think, well, what's wrong with this dude, man? He's hanging out with this little white chick, and he's taking care of her, but she's really more taking care of him than the other way around. And he's got some kind of mental problems, and you're like, man, is this guy mentally handicapped? And it turns out no, he's a damaged robot that her dad reprogrammed to help her. So he's kind of like moronic in a certain way, or real innocent. Later on, man, when he gets into the fucking Weyland fucking ship that they tried to hijack, or satellite that they tried to hijack, I guess it was a ship or it was a ship in orbit, right? He gets the new download and it fixes him, and he becomes a fucking super robot, kind of like David.
Yeah.
From Prometheus. It's a good flick. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too.
Yeah, and it had good special effects, it had good characters, good action, and it was a good mixture of like Alien 1 and Alien 2. Very good mixture of that. There were weapons in it. They were in a ship, and then they had, it's just, they're fighting a whole bunch of aliens, and in certain places they're in that ship, it's 0G. That was pretty cool too. Busting an alien open in 0G, and just a cloud of that acid fucking flying around at fucking 0G,
like,
burning shit up.
We didn't think about that.
They're like, whoa. Yeah, they were trying to, it was pretty good.
It's gonna acid burn my arm off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our Dollar General friend is in here under the name Bitcharoni.
Yeah.
Because Tom went in there the other day and was like, "What's up, bitch?" or something like that.
He's outside. I was coming out of the car. What's up, bitch? He's looking around. What? And he's like, "Oh, it's you." Yeah.
He said, "I just love the hell out of Tom and Jenny." Oh, we love you too.
Yeah.
We love you too.
But that was a good flick. And this new TV series or new fucking streaming show, that's going to look fucking great. And it's going to be on Hulu, right?
Yeah.
Hulu, yeah. And a couple other platforms.
Yeah.
I think Disney. Didn't Disney get a carry?
Well, Disney and Hulu are usually like a package deal because I think it's like owned by the same company or something.
And then there was like another one.
Because I already have Hulu, and I think if I paid like another $2, I could also get Disney Plus. But which I thought about doing, but maybe I will. I don't know.
I actually want to get Romulus on Blu-ray because I collect all the Alien movies and the Alien versus Predator movies.
Yeah.
And the Predator movies. Although I don't have that fucking last one with the Indians in it.
Which, Prey?
Prey. I don't have.
That was also made for Hulu.
Yeah. It was okay.
I thought it was pretty good. Yeah. I thought it was pretty good.
It was better than Predators. No, The Predator.
Well, yeah, Predators was good.
Predators was good. Predators was as good as the first one. Kinda. That first one's a masterpiece. Hard to beat that.
Kevin said, "Do you attend horror conventions?" We used to, when they were paying for us to go.
Yeah.
When you have to pay for your own self, it's like can't really justify it anymore. Although I would like to. They usually have. I don't know if they still. I know they still do it. They used to do it twice a year. What do they call it? Spooky Empire. They used to have it in October, obviously, and then I think they would do it again in April. But I think they just do it once a year now. But yeah, years back, like, I used to get invited there. We used to get invited there, like, because of the podcast and because of the books that I'd written. So it's like we'd get invited to be on panels, and they would, pay for us to get in and stuff like that. We had to buy our own food and all, parking and all that shit. But it's like, and we didn't stay at the hotel because it's not, we don't live that far.
We just drive
from where it is. We just drive. It's only like less than an hour. So we just drive there and drive back at the end of the day. Let's see. What else I got behind? Okay. Oracle said, Jenny, have you watched the Ruby Frankie? Is it Frankie or Franca? I don't know. Docuseries on Hulu. No, not yet. I just finished... Because remember how I said I was going through all this fucking true crime shows? I just went through all of The Perfect Murder on Max. Because I was watching them all just in order, and then it went to another series. I'm like, oh, I finally ran out of those after however fucking long it was. So it's like, I have to find another one now. I liked that one because... This is weird to say, but it wasn't as soul-crushing as some of the other ones. You know, because it just depends on. It wasn't lighthearted, like obviously, but they had a thing where they would kind of explain what happened, and then they would have it was mostly reenactments. Like they would show the actual people like in photos, usually toward the end, but it was almost all a reenactment. And so then they would always have like two detective characters being like, well, what do you think happened? Well, here's what I think. And then they would show a theory, and then they would go in black and white, and then they would like set up the theory. But you always know that that wasn't actually what happened because they would tell you what actually happened at the end. But it was just kind of going how, like what theories they were going with like before they figured it out. The thing about it though is that it's called The Perfect Murder, and I feel like 90% of them was like the spouse. You know what I mean? Which is always who they suspect at first, and the reason they do that is because 95% of the time, that's who it is. So it's like they kind of always would go, hey, this person died in this really weird way, and then, hey, we thought it was this, or we thought it was that. I'm like, it's the husband. It's always the fucking husband. They're trying to make it look like somebody else did it. And 9 times out of 10, that's exactly what happened. Every now and then, it was like a random-ass person or somebody that you didn't think, but most of the time... it was the spouse. Or I think one time it was like one of the kid, like their daughter or something. Their daughter, their son. I don't know. But it was usually like a relative of some kind. Almost always. Like trying to set it up to make it look like a stranger had murdered them. So I kind of got wise to that like pretty quickly. CB said... we used to have a horror Comic-Con come to a town near us, but they stopped when someone got murdered at the event. Holy shit. Yeah, I guess so.
Why would that stop the event?
Yeah, I mean...
If it happened here in the United States, nobody would give a shit.
Well...
come back next year.
That's not great, but yeah.
Yeah, if that happened... Think of it. If that happened at fucking... what's the one that they have here all the time?
Spooky Empire.
Spooky Empire. Yeah, if somebody got killed at Spooky Empire, they would just go, oh, okay. And then they just
shit happens.
come back.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad, but...
They used to get shot outside the club we went to all the time down fucking in fucking on Orange Ave. We kept going back. It's just I guess we accept more risk.
Well, I don't really...
although it's worse now than it ever was, though. It's bad now.
I don't really like that, you know.
Yeah. But it's not going to stop you from going out.
No, but like I said, it's different. I mean, the place where we go, I don't really worry that much about it. I mean, shit could happen anywhere, obviously.
It's not in the dead center in the middle of all the activity.
There's no other clubs around there, or it's not in like the middle of a downtown area or anything like that. It's literally just next to a bunch of stuff that's closed and a 7-Eleven.
The dudes that always start the trouble, they don't know where they are. They're from some random place that just show up randomly. They don't know anybody around, and they fucking shoot somebody. So they don't even know where they are.
No.
Yeah. Like that one of them I saw at that same corner, Orange Ave. What's that? Orange and Washington?
Yeah.
Orange and Washington. Downtown Orlando. Some kid, I don't even think he was old enough to fucking drink. Just walking down through you see it, there's cameras everywhere. First of all, they don't realize that cameras are everywhere. I don't understand that. Walks right in front of the black kid. Walks right in front of the black guy. Just shoots him right in the side of the head. Pow! And then fucking runs through the crowd. And the cops see him. The cops were right there. Big cop car and everything in the middle of the fuck. He shot that dude fucking 30 feet from the cops. Now the cops arrested him.
Well.
The cops are right there. You shoot somebody in the side of the head.
Well, he wasn't
That's
that
the way
bright.
America is.
What do you want me to say?
And they
really
pretend like
thinking,
there's no cameras when
not really thinking ahead.
Yeah, and all that shit shows up online. You know, fucking local news and everything, or they just post it online on police activities and shit like that. Everybody sees it. And, you know, it's like that these guys don't know that Orange Ave is fucking laced with fucking police cameras all through the whole thing.
Well, like I said, the police station is
It's
right there.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yep.
But, like, well, here's another weird thing. Like, going back to talking about that true crime show that I watched. How many fucking criminals, like, they kill somebody... And then, like, a little while later, they go and use their ATM card.
Yeah.
I'm like, bitch, do you not realize that it's like, there's cameras.
Dude.
Every ATM in America has a fucking camera.
And it's his face sitting right there with the card. Or it's the girl, and they got a gun on her. And they're standing next to her, telling her to get it.
It's like, I will never understand. Like, that's how one dude on there got caught, because
Yeah.
it's like he was using a murdered dude's
Yeah.
card. Like, it turned out that he wasn't the guy that had done it, but he knew the guy that had done it because that guy gave him the card. But the guy that gave him the card said there's a body on it, meaning he killed somebody and this is theirs.
Yeah.
And he used it anyway, and he didn't even wear a mask or nothing. It's like just his big stupid
card.
face, like right there in the camera. And they put it out on the news, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's that motherfucker." And then they went and picked him up.
They have a very dim understanding of the way the internet works and the way cameras work and the way those cards.
And these are
work.
like younger people. You'd think they'd be, and they've had cameras on ATMs since I was a kid, and I'm old.
Well, there's a large demographic of people that don't even have bank accounts or fucking bank cards here in the United States. We went to fucking a Dollar General store, and we went through the self-checkout using a card, and there was a whole line of people. Remember that one time?
Yeah.
A whole line of people just
Not the one by our house, but
other one.
but another one up the road.
And I said, "You guys aren't using this?" He goes, "No, I don't have a card." And fucking, it was a whole line of them going, "Yeah, we don't have cards." And these are rednecks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You don't have fucking banks."
It's like, what century is this?
Fucking, you don't have a bank? Yeah. They're in there paying with cash.
Maybe they're all drug dealers.
I don't understand it.
I don't know. Why do you have that much cash? They're not a stripper. I hope they're not a stripper.
No, they take
seeing
it
how
to a check cashing place and
Yeah.
cash their check. They carry
That's
cash
funny.
around. Check cashing.
That's what I mean. It's like I think most companies don't even give you a paper check anymore. They just direct deposit. I mean, that's where everywhere
well, they can, but a blue collar place
Everywhere I
will
work.
cut you a check.
Yeah.
They're working in,
Yeah, I guess.
trucking and
But
shipping
still,
and fucking shit.
like I said, it's the 21st century. This shit's
Yeah.
been going on for ages.
It's weird. I've seen them write check.
They've
I've seen
had
them
direct
write checks.
deposits for deposit forever.
I've seen them write checks.
Yeah. And it's always like right in front. Here's the thing that kills me. This is like fucking old people. They'd be in front of you at the grocery store. They got a million things. It's like they had and they're not even the first in the line. They had a million fucking years. They were waiting in line to fill the rest of the checkout.
Yeah.
Do they do it? No. They wait right up until they get to the end, and then they fill the whole thing out.
Yep.
It's like you could at least put the date and you signed it, and you could have done all that and just put the amount in at the end, obviously, and saved everyone some time.
Yeah.
So everyone wasn't back there going, ah.
Yep. Take forever.
Jesus Christ. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
it's like they're just sitting there staring off into
Yeah.
space. I don't know, man. Dementia. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but
Or they enjoy making other people wait.
Yeah.
Because they have to be the center of attention at all times. Maybe that's what it is. I don't really know. Yeah, Tammy says, or they commit a crime and keep wearing the same clothes. Throw that shit away. Yeah, why do you still, like, if you committed a murder, like in a particular pair of tennis shoes, for example, don't keep those tennis shoes.
Well, that's their favorite clothes. They killed somebody in their favorite clothes. They don't want to throw the clothes
Like,
away.
wear some shit. You can, like, buy some shit at a thrift store. You can be given tips on it. But it's just, like, seriously, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought, like, everybody is pretty up on, like, everybody watches true crime shit, right? It's like, we should know
I don't
this.
think they do.
This is, like, that's a rookie mistake.
Most of these guys that show up on these videos, they say, like, go on YouTube and subscribe to a channel called Police Activity. And it's nothing but body cam footage. And it's all very recent. And there's 1,000 of them up there. The comment section is gold. It just... If you're going to resist these cops, you're going to get your ass beat. That's just how it is. All right? If you pull a fake gun on them or a real gun, they kill you. That's just how it is. And you're not going to look cool. They look stupid every fucking time they die. They had one that I watched today. I think it might have been, he was Hispanic of some sort. They're trying to pull his car over. He fucking jumps out of his own car and runs towards the fence, and about 30 cops are coming out of their cars. Probably not 30, probably like 8 of them come out of their cars with pistols drawn. And he's got his hand inside of a backpack that he brought with him. And they're going, drop the backpack, get on the ground, drop the backpack. And he's just not responding. And he goes, I'm not going back. You're all going to have to kill me. I'm not going back.
Okay.
So he doesn't want to go to prison. He walks along the side of the fence, and they're just trying to drop it. Dude fucking sticks his hand in there real fast, and like he's going to pull something out, and dude fucking just shoots him about 6 times.
Well, that's suicide by
He hits the
cop,
ground. Yeah, he hits the ground, and he goes, "Oh, I didn't do anything. I didn't do nothing." He went from fucking you're going to have to kill me to I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how fast it was. And he died. And you look at the comment section, people were laughing at him.
Well,
they have it in their mind. They think this is going to be like an epic showdown of good versus evil, and that they're the good ones, and they're going to go out in a blaze of glory, and it's going to look awesome. No. It looks stupid. It looks really dumb.
It does, yeah.
He's just laying there on the ground, fucking gurgling and shit, doing the kicking chicken. You know, begging. Why? Well, you know why. Bye-bye. Then gone. So there's nothing epic about it. But they got it in their mind. It's going to be, epic.
Well, everyone's the star of their own story.
They're starring in their own movie, yeah.
CB said, don't masturbate over the victims. Your DNA will betray you. You don't even have to masturbate these days. Like, if your victim just, grabs you like that and gets your, flakes of your skin under their fingernails, they can still catch you from that. So it's don't even risk it, man. They're going to catch you eventually.
Yeah. Although,
like I said, most of the murder shows that I watch, what was the most recent case that was on there? I think it was from 2012 was the most recent one that happened. And then, it took a while for them to catch the person. But, like I said, I think a lot of the times, I think they kind of suspect who did it, but they just don't have enough evidence.
You got to be able to prove it.
You got to be able to prove it. Because sometimes if they're like, hey, we think this guy will, if you go to the DA with that, they're like, nah, I don't think we're going to. Because you can't whiff it the first time unless it's a hung jury. If they don't get convicted the first time, you can't try them for the same thing again. So it's you got to make sure you get it right the first time, unless there's way different circumstances. I think aren't there I guess it depends on the state, but aren't there laws where if new definitive evidence comes out, you can try them again for the same thing? Or I'm not really sure, because I know there's a double jeopardy thing, but I think that in certain circumstances you can try them again, if something else comes out about it. And obviously if there's a hung jury, you have to try them again. And that happened in a few of the cases that I saw on there. But like I said, they called it the perfect murder because it's a good title and everything, but I was like I said, 90% of the time it was the spouse trying to make it look like it's look, I just came home and somebody shot him, I don't know what happened. And I'm like, bitch, you did that. You did that, and then you went and did some kind of elaborate alibi so you wouldn't get caught. It's super obvious. They're not as smart as they think they are. Like I said, they need to watch more of these shows so they don't make these stupid mistakes.
Well, a lot of them are also from right now. What's happening? One that happened in Orlando last week. It's one of the new videos that come up. They're from Central America. I grew up in Brazil. If you guys don't know me, but I grew up in Brazil as an American over there. Probably did about 6-7 years, but my family was there 12 years. I speak Portuguese. I know Central and South American culture. They're all a little bit different, each country. Well, a lot of these people are from Central America. And you hear about all these gangs like MS-13 and shit, you would think that, boy, it must be really rough down there. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking murders, and most of it's organized crime. But really, the widespread, I guess you could say widespread crime like you have in parts of the United States, it doesn't exist there. Those countries are actually Latin countries are actually pretty soft. They're real friendly, kind of warm-hearted. It's only and that allows a few of them to just run amok. And the way the police are organized, a Central and South American cop isn't a cop as you would recognize him in the United States. It's more like a security guard. He's overweight, old, maybe a fucking revolver, they're not paying him much anything. He's not really built to stop crime. His main thing is to like stand guard and make it look like there's some kind of police presence, and to write tickets. That's all they do. Like a meter maid, really. And they all tell him that, you know, in Central and South America, if you shoot somebody, even if you're a cop, you're going to get in a lot of trouble. And they come here thinking that American cops are like that. No, the American cops, especially in a state like Florida, have all kinds of. You just do the wrong thing, they just kill you. All right, and you should have known better because they're trained well. It's not because they're trained poorly; they're actually trained well. Because a lot of these people just have to be taken down. You can't have them in a society like this. What dude does is he's from I think Nicaragua. He's here in Florida, where you have legal carry. If you can legally possess a pistol, you can legally carry it concealed. A lot of people are packing here. He's got a fake pistol. It looks real, but it's fake. It's like an airsoft pistol. He goes into a gas station convenience store and starts stuffing beer in his pockets, and he's drunk, and he's got that fucking gun. Fake gun in there. He goes up to buy some things, but he had a bunch of shit hidden in his pockets, and the guy behind the counter reaches over like that and tries to take the fucking beer out of his waistband. Well, he sees that dude has that pistol. And that dude pulled the pistol out and just walked out. With beer in his waistband and a pistol in his hand. Goes next door. They show the security camera. Goes next door and he starts waving that pistol around and asking for things in the store. They just give it to him and he leaves. Cops show up. They tell him to drop the gun. He doesn't drop the gun. What do they do? They fucking hail a gunfire. AR-15s. He's standing in front of a car in a parking lot. He's trying to negotiate. They're not there to negotiate. They told you to fucking drop the weapon. They fucking gunned him down. They must have fucking just shot him about 7-8 times with AR-15s, 5.56 rounds, and just cut him up. Because he thought he was in Central America. You know, where you can de-escalate and negotiate with the cops. No, they're not there to negotiate with you. They're there to kill you. Just different cultures.
Oracle says, mind you, I'd rather not kill anybody. A murder would really interfere with my knitting and time with my husband. Yeah, I mean, you never know what might happen, but it's like, I'm generally not thinking about killing anybody when I'm out and about. You know, and I would hope that most people aren't, although you never know. You know?
Another one, the same deal. They had a Central American woman who was causing a disturbance on a bus. The bus driver calls the police, tells him what stop he's going to. They stop there. She gets out of the bus. Cops are waiting for her. Walk up on her. She sees the cops coming. She's in her late 20s, little short, dumpy, overset woman. She sees the cops coming. She grabs a woman who she doesn't know in front of her and fucking grabs her by the hair and puts a knife to her throat. The cops just walk in on her like that, and she looks away from one cop to look at the other was coming. The other guy just went pow and shot her in the head at about 10 feet. And she went, ah, and hit the ground. There was no negotiation. But she was trying to negotiate behind a hostage. If they get a shot at you, if they have an open lane of fire, they take it because they're instructed to. When in a hostage situation, you know. So, but she didn't know that.
Zach says, "What's up, Pio? I'm drunk. LOL." We're getting there. It's pretty early though. I mean, well, you're in a different time.
I'm just starting to wind up.
You're in a different time zone than us. Actually, wait, aren't you in a different, like an earlier time zone? So isn't it earlier where he is than where we are? Not judging. Just saying.
Zach shows up. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, it's just 8 o'clock here. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, CB said my girlfriend and her friend went to a self-defense class, and the tit running it told the women, just let the guy do what he wants if he has a knife. So they left. It's never a good idea. Like I said, every situation is different. But it's generally never a good idea
to do what they want.
Or to let them take you any place.
Yep.
Do not let them take you any
If they take you somewhere, you're facing something worse than death. Usually. Don't let them take you anywhere. You make them kill you on the spot. Yeah. It may not be a bluff, but call the bluff, because it could be a bluff.
Yeah. Zach said, also, I showed the show to my friend Jacob. I told Tom wants to start a podcast. He thinks you're funny, Tom. Oh, yeah, Tom is pretty funny. But yeah, I don't, like I said, thankfully I've never been in that situation, so I'm not entirely sure what I would do. You know what I mean? Because I don't think anybody really knows until they're in that situation. Because, you know, you can talk a big game all you want, but, like, until shit like that goes down, you don't really know how you're going to react. So I can't really say, but I'm just saying that in general, it's, not a good idea to don't let them take you anywhere. Like, even if they pull a gun and, hey, get in the car. Nope, just fucking turn away and run the fuck away. They might shoot you in the back, but like I said, they'll probably do worse shit to you if you get in the fucking car with them. So just get the fuck out of there. Run zigzag. Do something. I don't know. You know. TB said, yeah, it's like the fat guy that tried to get me and a friend in his car when we were 8. I feel like that was pretty common back in the day. Most people our age, and I think you're younger, but most people our age, Gen X, we were kind of running around feral. Most of us have stories of some creep, like, pulling over and trying to get us and our little friends in their car and stuff like that. And we were like, yeah, nah. Zach says we're in the same time zone. Oh, okay. Really? Wait a minute. Okay. I didn't realize you were in the same time. I thought you were in the central time zone for some reason. Super Strange Shadow says, what's up? It's late here. Late here and I can't sleep. Don't mind watching YouTube at night. Well, where are you at? Because it's, like I said, it's only 8 p.m. here. Zach says, this has nothing to do with anything. But Jenny, I think it's funny you don't have an accent even though you lived in Florida forever.
Yeah, the environment she's in, she's not around.
I'm not sure why that is. Because my dad's side of the family, who were from Tennessee, had pretty thick Southern accents. But my mom's side of the family were from Baltimore, like Baltimore, D.C. area. Yeah. And they didn't really have accents. So... even
though her mom seems Southern as hell.
But she's not originally from here. But she's lived here a long time, though. Yeah. I don't remember how old she was when they moved down here. But, I mean, my grandparents moved to Florida from Tennessee, like, back in the 50s.
A lot of Southerners who live in areas that are a little more metropolitan or suburban kind of have a couple, they're used to dealing with a greater mix of people. So we'll kind of have a generic, almost like a transatlantic style, just a basic American accent that we'll mostly use because that's what we're hearing around them. But if I get around, like go back to Mississippi or I'm talking to my dad over the phone, over a few minutes I slowly slide back into that dialect.
Yeah.
And if I get mad, I go into that dialect. And I think a lot of Southerners are like that.
Yeah, I don't really,
The more of them that are in the biker bar, the more Southern I start sounding.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Because they're all yelling at each other. And it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger.
And then you wonder sometimes, like, how many of them are, like, putting that on.
No, they're from here.
Well, I know. Well, I am too, but...
they live on those farms.
You know?
They were
I don't talk like that.
When I first moved to Florida, where we are now, used to be out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
This was like Hicksville.
I mean, where we are now is still slightly out in the middle of nowhere, but not as in the middle of nowhere as it used to be
10 years ago, 15 years ago, yeah.
Like, it is kind of building up a little. The house we lived in Sanford, when we first moved there, there was stuff around, but not much.
Felt like you were in the country.
It kind of felt like you were in the country, but just in the 10 years that we lived there,
it became
it's
suburbs.
Like all this like fucking shit like built up around
like suburbs now, yeah.
So it's like there's just shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind that because I don't really like being out in the middle of nowhere because there's nothing to do. But, you know. He asked, are we drinking rum and Coke? It's actually
vodka
and apple juice.
Yeah.
It's healthy. Zach says, when I put absolutely no effort into trying to speak clearly, my voice comes out with a southern accent. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I ever really had much of a southern accent. Not really sure why I didn't get that.
No, they would think it was southern. You go up to Boston.
They probably like if I went somewhere that
where they have a strain,
where they have a different accent, they would probably notice it.
Yeah, if you went up to the New England states, Massachusetts, around there, where they have a strong regional accent, they immediately know you're not a Yankee. They used to think I was Irish because there was a lot of Irish immigration that happened in there.
weirdly, I got that when I was in Wales.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, I don't sound remotely like I have an Irish accent. What are you talking about?
They go, you must be from Ireland. And I said, no, I'm actually originally from Mississippi. And they're like, oh. That was like, for them, that was like, oh. Yeah. They think if you're from places like Mississippi or Alabama, you're just a savage.
Well, some people are.
A lot of some are, yeah.
So
they're good.
They're not completely wrong.
Yeah, they're good at it though.
Randa says, I get that too. I just say that people from the city don't usually have a strong accent. Yeah, but I mean, I grew up in Daytona Beach though, which is like the redneck vacation hub of the South. That's like where fucking NASCAR is. So you'd have a huge influx, and it's so it was all like NASCAR fans and bikers.
Yeah.
And rednecks, you know. But for some reason, I don't know. I guess I just didn't end up with that.
The media you listened to, and the clubs you were going to, and who you were hanging out with, and you've been outside the country, and then you've been other places, so it kind of softened it. And you were never really from the sticks.
No.
And your parents really weren't from the sticks.
No.
Per se.
Like I said, my grandparents had real thick Southern accents. Like all that side of my family did. But
look, I mean, I was gonna put fucking, what's his name?
I don't know.
Shit, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't know.
I know I'm getting drunk.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, fuck.
It could be anybody.
Burt Reynolds.
Oh, okay.
Burt Reynolds is a good example of fucking Southern. He was a Southern superhero, okay? And he really was Southern. He was from Georgia and lived here in Florida. But if you watch it in a Burt Reynolds movie, a lot of times he doesn't have, well, it depends on the movie you're watching. He doesn't always have a real strong Southern accent, depending on what role he's playing in. And in White Lightning, it was a little stronger, and same with Gator. But then later on, when he's doing Sharky's Machine, where he's in downtown Atlanta, he doesn't have a real strong Southern accent, because the Southerners in the cities, their accent is kind of softened a lot. It just sounded like us.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't grow up in a big city or anything like that, but a lot of people that I was friends with and that I knew were not from here, were not from the South.
Yeah, but you were in Daytona, and Daytona's, 40 minutes from Orlando? And Daytona is a big city compared to, say, like where my dad was from.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not really a big city, but it's a big city comparatively.
My dad was from Heidelberg. Heidelberg's a little German town outside Laurel. It had about 700 people in it. 700. He was the last white man. Yeah, he was the last white man in Orlando, in fucking Heidelberg. Yeah. I knew all his neighbors fucking going out to visit him, and he got along with everybody. It was nice, fucking, it was like Black Mayberry. A little country town, and families, and little parades, and they'd had a high school there. But everything was miniature. The high school maybe fucking probably 50 kids in it.
Yeah, it was great. I don't even remember how many kids were in my graduating class. Couple hundred.
Yeah.
I think it was a couple hundred. I don't really remember. That was 1990.
I don't think it had 50 kids. Probably had hundreds, but because they would all go there in the surrounding towns together.
Yeah.
But so the regional accents are a lot stronger in rural areas.
You know what? Okay, this is like pretty creepy that you would say this. John Goris just said, what was that Burt Reynolds movie where he's trying to kill himself? It had Dom DeLuise.
That's
too.
Weird, man. We just saw the
trailer for that like last night.
It was called The End.
The End.
Yeah.
And I thought
good.
I think I saw it because I think it was on cable like back in the 80s, and I used to watch shit all on there all the time.
It's free on Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime. Like we were like scrolling through, and I was like, "Hey, there's a Burt Reynolds movie." And
we were watching the whole trailer.
It's like I think I kind of remember this one.
We were watching the whole trailer, and it looked funny. But I'm going, man, they're showing us the whole fucking movie.
That's the thing.
The trailer was like, it had the whole movie.
People piss and moan about trailers nowadays, but it's like, go watch some trailers from like the 70s and 80s. They showed you the whole fucking movie.
They tell you what the movie's about, how it was going to end.
All the best scenes, all the best jokes. I'm like, they're ruining it. Knock it off. At least now they usually have a trailer that's kind of like deceptive, which some people get mad at, but I don't mind that. Because it's like, it's like, look, I want to see the movie. I don't want to see like the whole movie spoiled in the trailer. So I don't actually mind if they are just kind of like, hey, you might think it's this, but it's like this other way. I don't mind that.
But if you were to average out all the Southern accents between the country and the city people across all states, you'd end up with an accent that would sound like Burt Reynolds. Because most of them are kind of mild like that. But you take Burt Reynolds and you take him up to Boston, they're going to go, man, you got a strong accent. Yeah, that's what they would say. Because it doesn't sound like them.
Well, Tammy pointed out that Burt was actually born in Lansing, Michigan. Yes, he was.
Yes, he was. But the thing is that you got to look at the fine print. His parents were from the South. They were from Georgia. And his dad was in the military. And he was stationed there. So that's where he was born. But he was only like 2 or 3 when they left. His dad got out of the Army and they went to Florida. And I think it was near the Panhandle. So he wasn't raised in Michigan when he was a baby. And his dad wasn't from there.
But since you brought it up, John Gore said, thanks, I need to see that again. Maybe we should do that for the Monday review. Because like I said, we watched some of the trailer, and I was like, I think I remember seeing that, and it does look pretty funny. And I was like, and it's a dark comedy, and I love that kind of shit. So, I don't know, maybe we'll do that for the Monday. We'll see how we feel on Sunday night when it's time to watch a movie. But I did kind of feel like watching it, but we didn't end up watching it. Like I said, I ended up watching Riff Tracks instead, I think. But that's just really weird that you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because we literally just saw the trailer for that last night while we were scrolling through Amazon Prime.
Burt Reynolds is probably the only fucking exclusive Southern movie star. He was not a creation of Hollywood. He was a creation of fucking Nashville. Because they had white exploitation fucking... they had some white exploitation studios out there where they made all those movies. And they were made for the South. They're just that they got famous. You know, they got some nationwide play, especially with Smokey and the Bandit. That was nationwide, and then it got on the cable, and that became quite a phenomenon. I grew up with just watching all Smokey and the Bandit. Fucking seemed like it was on for 3 years.
Yeah, CB just said the first Burt Reynolds film I seen was Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah,
I think it was probably the first one I saw too.
Yeah,
because it was on HBO like every 5 minutes. Like
yeah, I think it might have been the first one I saw.
It was
also
always on.
But he was already famous and all the adults knew who he was. Because they in the pre-cable era, they were going to the movies and seeing him.
Yeah, because he'd been in a bunch of movies.
Because he'd been in a bunch of movies.
But, yeah, and then the second one, Smugside said, Cannonball Run. I think that was probably the second one.
That was another good one. Yeah, we loved that one. Cannonball Run 1. There's a Cannonball Run 2.
There was a sequel, yeah.
But
it was okay, but I don't think it was as good as the
They
first
almost kind of felt like a TV show, kind of like Love Boat or some crap like that. Remember there was some kind of formulaic about those movies. I would see it again.
I haven't seen Cannonball Run in a long time. We just I think we rewatched Smokey and the Bandit not too long ago.
Yeah, and it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay, but it's a stupid premise. He's getting paid to transport a bunch of beer across state lines, and he has to be there.
Which people nowadays might be like, "What the fuck is that about?"
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, you weren't allowed to sell beer like in. Wasn't it like you weren't allowed to sell, like across the Mississippi? Like it was some kind of weird like fucking arcane.
They would save money on the fucking tax.
Yeah, so it's like there was all this bootlegging kind of crap going on.
Bootlegging, but the reason why they went to bootlegging, that's very implausible. Nobody would have gone through that trouble.
No.
The reason why they went to bootlegging is because that is a traditional Southern crime that is fucking socially acceptable. Like bootleggers were criminals, but everybody liked them. Because they were
like you could still have a likable character
yeah.
that was still technically a criminal that would have a cop chasing.
So they used that. But the thing is that bootlegging was a prohibition era thing. You know, Smoking the Bandit is taking place in the 70s. So they were using bootlegging as a euphemism for smuggling pot. That's probably what originally the idea was. Moving a bunch of weed or a bunch of coke. It was late 70s, early 80s. It might have been early 80s, wouldn't it?
Well, Smokey and the Bandit came out in what, 81?
81. So actually, like it would have been more accurate to say we're smuggling a bunch of coke. That would have been economically worth it. Or weed would have been worth it. But booze, beer, you wouldn't have made enough profit off of it to be worth the risk. Or you could just put it in a truck and just drive the truck. You know, without any kind of drama. Would you need this chase car to be a decoy out in front? You didn't need any of that shit. It was a totally contrived fucking premise.
Still a pretty funny movie though.
Fun movie. It's just supposed to be fun.
But it's just the premise isn't super plausible.
Yeah, this is white exploitation. Literally.
And like you said, I think that people like the idea of him being like an outlaw, but still like not doing anything that was like hurting anybody.
Exactly. They're not going to have him smoking coke.
Yeah, I think people would look a little askance. Yeah, like then you're a bad guy.
He's just a bootlegger.
Yeah, he's just a good old. He's bringing us our beer. Why is that bad?
Yeah, and that's what White Lightning was about in Gator, where he played Gator McCluskey. He's a bootlegger.
Yeah.
But he's also released from prison to help catch a bad cop, and the feds are helping him. So he's a secret agent.
Yeah.
He's a Southern bootlegging convict who's also a secret agent. That's our version of James fucking Bond. And he did his own stunts. Yeah. Burt Reynolds did his own stunts.
CB said he got the Smokey and the Bandit box set.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's hardcore.
There's 2 of them in there, right? I think there were only 2 Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, I thought there were only 2.
I don't know if the second one has Burt Reynolds in it. Does he?
I thought it did, but I haven't seen it in a long time. I have seen it, but I don't remember. Full Metal Nosferatu said, wasn't Burt in a movie that had a real shark attack / fatality? Oh. Now that you mention it, that does sound kind of familiar, but I'm not entirely sure what movie that would have been. Smugside is also saying, I really want to see All Dogs Go to Heaven, though, which was an animated movie, and he did some of the voice work for it. Burt Reynolds did.
Okay, yeah.
I heard it's not only good, but also really emotional, that Burt Reynolds had to do several takes for the goodbye scene. See, I've seen that movie, but I don't really want to watch it again. It's
really?
Like, it's too sad. It's too sad.
Really, I gotta say, one of Burt's best movies, Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
That's a fun flick.
We
reviewed it, yeah.
Yeah. And Dolly looks great in it. Her and her boobs. And then it's a clean movie. It's very Southern. It's a musical. But it's a fun story.
It's a bunch of happy horrors at the Happy Horror House.
Yeah.
No exploitation going on at all. It's all nice.
I got to get Sharky's Machine on Blu-ray. We saw that a few years ago. I liked it.
Yeah, we reviewed that too. I said, we reviewed a bunch of Burt Reynolds movies. Smugside said, I still haven't seen Deliverance yet. Everyone recommends it to me.
Good.
You gotta see Deliverance. I mean, Deliverance is a fucking classic.
I think that's the movie. I think Deliverance might have been the movie where Burt Reynolds first kind of got nationwide recognition. Was in that one, because he's in it.
Yeah. But it's kind of an ensemble cast though. He's not like, and it's not funny at all.
Because of that man-on-man rape scene that happens in it. That movie was immortalized.
It was horrifying.
And squeal it like a pig. Oh, he pretty. He pretty. Look like a fat little pig.
Poor Ned Beatty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ned Beatty's like, oh. They're back there riding that rump.
With his little saggy little
these are some fucking toothless Ozark fucking.
Yeah, it's pretty horrifying. Like I said,
out there, fucking
Yikes. Yeah. I can imagine. Like I said, I have a hard time like watching rape scenes in movies, and it's like that one's like it's pretty upsetting.
And Bert's taking some of his friends out there on like a camping type trip or an expedition, and he's ready. He's got a bow. He's a sleeveless fucking leather fucking.
Yeah, they're all prepared and shit.
They're prepared.
They weren't prepared for that, obviously.
Well, really, only the Burt Reynolds character was mentally prepared. He knew the area. Remember, he was like because he plays a Southern character in that. The other guys were like from up north. But they were.
Well, I thought they were just all from Atlanta.
Maybe they were all from Atlanta, but
which is still Georgia, but that's like the city.
That's the city. Yeah, it's like New York.
So it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Even though Atlanta's kind of Atlanta's not super redneck.
Burt kind of understood where he was though, and once they did that shit to their fucking friend, Burt's like, no, we're gonna kill these motherfuckers. Yeah.
I mean, you can't really blame him.
Yeah. We should go back and kill the cops. He's like,
Yeah, it's like, no, that's not going to
work
work
out.
out.
Going to police
That's not going the way you think it's
going to go. No, they'll throw us in prison. The police are probably related to these boys.
Yeah.
Which they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're going to kill them. It's a good one.
Just bury them out there, feed them to alligators or something.
Yeah.
Just fucking...
I haven't seen that in a long time. Got to see Deliverance again.
Yeah, I think we've reviewed it, but it's like, it's a great fucking movie. I've seen it several times. Let me see. Oh, so yeah, Tammy said because in the movie Smoking the Bandit, Coors was supposed to be illegal in the Eastern USA. That's right. Yeah. I thought it was maybe because wasn't there? I don't know if this is still the case, but couldn't you not get Yuengling across the Mississippi River? Because I remember every time when my sister and her then husband lived in Denver, he was from Philly, and every time they came to Florida to visit, they would take a whole bunch of Yuengling back with them because he really liked it, and you couldn't get it in Colorado because they didn't sell it across the Mississippi.
Yuengling's good shit.
But I don't know if that's still the case. Like, can you get Yuengling out west now?
I probably can get it nationwide.
Because this is going back years ago, but they always had to get it when they came to Florida. Like, they'd stock up on all this Yingling because you couldn't get it there.
People always fucking, when they think of them, especially foreigners like up in Europe, they see Bud Light, they think that's what American beer is. That is not American beer. It's piss water. Don't drink that shit.
That's like what basic.
Budweiser,
that's like
terrible.
what basic bitches drink.
Basic bitch fucking.
And I don't like beer really.
The oldest American brewery is Yingling. Yingling. It's good. It's very good. It's about like Sam Adams. Samuel Adams is good fucking beer too. They have a bunch of different kinds, and then they have seasonal flavors. They have stouts. They have extra stouts. They have all that shit. The Yingling Black and Tan is very good, and it's reasonably priced. It's good. And they just have lagers, and then there's all the microbrewery beer. The only famous American beer is the national industrial strength fucking beer like Budweiser. And the reason why Budweiser exists because in the 1800s that company mastered mass production and delivery of those fucking beers at a nationwide scale.
And they were kind of the first ones to do it.
They were like the first ones to do it. And the thing is that it was dirt cheap. Anybody, a poor person could buy it. That was the market.
So yeah, you were just kind of like, they're like, well, it kind of sucks, but it's cheap and it gives me a buzz.
And it's here.
And that's what you can get, yeah.
This is what's in the store.
So everyone just kind of got used to
that's
it.
How and a lot of American products.
It's not because of the quality at all.
No. And even our chocolate, Hershey's chocolate was like that.
Yeah, same thing with Hershey's chocolate.
Same thing. It's not real. It's not the best chocolate. But that was the only chocolate they could get delivered to your local store in your little podunk town out in the middle of nowhere
for a reasonable
consistently
price.
For a price you could afford, and they did it over and over and over again.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't great, but it was better than not having it.
It was chocolate.
Yeah,
it was chocolate. You couldn't say that's not chocolate. It's chocolate. And chocolate was something only rich people could have. This was chocolate that poor people could afford.
Yeah,
because they used very little cocoa bean compared to real chocolate, very little. And the milk that they used was already kind of pre-soured. So it kind of has a sour
Which is why a
aftertaste.
lot of Europeans don't like Hershey's chocolate, because they said, well, kind of tastes like vomit.
A little bit like vomit.
Which, you're not wrong.
But you have to, as an American, you have to think about that and go,
we just grew up eating it, so it's like, but if you bring it up, you're like, it kind of does. It does have like a little sour milk aftertaste.
It's a sour milk taste.
I don't mind Hershey's, but there's better shit out there, honestly.
Well, there are also other versions of Hershey's that's better than that.
Yeah.
That's just the traditional Hershey's that has
I like Ghirardelli, actually, which is San Francisco, but that's pretty good. It's like more expensive, but that's okay. And we get a lot of European chocolate here too, so you can get pretty much whatever you want. But it is better, I will admit that. Like I said, when I was in the UK, man, they got some good shit. They got some good fucking shit over there. They got some good fucking shit. Even their Kit Kats are better, because the chocolate is better. But honestly, I like Kit Kats, but if I'm gonna get a Kit Kat, I'm gonna get a white chocolate one, because I like white chocolate, which I know technically is not chocolate. Yes.
Yeah, that Hershey's company owns so many other chocolate companies too. It's just. For all you know, that they might own Russell Stover's and fucking all the other ones.
Who owns Dove? Because that chocolate's pretty good. But I don't know if that's a subsidiary of Hershey's and it's like, this is our slightly better shit. Or Hershey's isn't terrible. Like I said, if you want some kind of more low-end shit, you got to go for like the seasonal, particularly around Easter, where they have like all the Easter bunnies that are made by Palmer and stuff like that, which like I don't even see. Maybe they do, but it's like I don't even see Palmer selling chocolate any other time of the year other than Easter and maybe Christmas. Although I don't think I've ever seen them. I just like because they're usually associated with Easter, like making chocolate bunnies and stuff. And that is like I said, it's still chocolate, so it's okay, but it's really, it has that weird like waxy kind of taste to it, which is not ideal. Not ideal. Full Metal Nosferatu said Burt Reynolds, Clint Eastwood, and Adam West were considered for 007.
Who was?
But they all said, I said Burt Reynolds, Clint Eastwood, and Adam West.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think none of those motherfuckers would have worked for 007. No, absolutely not. I don't even know who would even consider that would be a good idea. It's just, I can't see it. The closest one would maybe be Adam West, and even so, I can only just see him as Batman or Or the dude in fucking Zombie Nightmare, that fucking terrible movie with fucking that was on MST. Holy crap, that was terrible. And Adam West was only there was somebody else in that was kind of famous. No, I can't remember who it was. But man, what a stupid fucking movie that was. What a stupid fucking movie. CB said, Smokey and the Bandit 1 and 2 has Bert in them, but Smokey and the Bandit 3, Jerry Reed is pretending to be the bandit. Oh! I had totally forgot that Smokey and the Bandit 3 existed.
There was a 3?
But Burt Reynolds wasn't in it.
Okay.
Jerry Reed was in it, though.
All right. It must have been terrible.
You know what? Now that you mentioned it, I did see it. Because now that you said that Jerry Reed was like the star of it, I'm like, yeah, okay. I remember that.
One of them. I didn't know there was a 3.
I forgot.
I remember one of them didn't have Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, it's the third one.
It was the third one, yeah.
That's what he said, because he's got the box set.
I thought there was only 2. Okay. I wouldn't mind seeing part 2.
What happened in part 2? Was Sally Field in that again?
Probably not.
Or did they write her out of it somehow?
Probably wrote her out. Although she was in a lot of his movies. She was in the end too.
Yeah, Didn't she plays his mistress or something?
Yeah.
So which we know because we saw like this 5-minute long trailer that gave the whole movie away.
And Dom DeLuise was in a lot of.
Yeah, they worked together a lot.
Yeah, they were.
Well, they played really well off each other.
Yeah, and they're kind of opposites. Yeah, I don't think Dom DeLuise was Southern.
No.
And he was kind of gay coded, and funny as fuck.
He was pretty funny.
And Burt Reynolds was like Southern, kind of likable scoundrel, sex symbol guy. So they were kind of opposites, but they worked great together. Kind of like Richard Pryor and fucking dude that played from Stir Crazy. I gotta see that.
Gene
one.
Wilder.
Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor were
man. I love
together.
Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
Gene Wilder was fucking hilarious.
Those dudes played well off each other.
Yeah, they were in a lot of movies together too. Remember, what was that one on the train? Silver Streak. They were in
Blazing Saddles.
Man, we should do Blazing Saddles.
Yeah,
I don't think we've done Blazing Saddles. That is such a fucking. I think we've only done one Mel Brooks movie, which was Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever did Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
I don't think we did Spaceballs either. Yeah. And I actually really like Spaceballs.
I wasn't big on it.
But I haven't seen it in a long time. I wasn't huge on some of his other ones. Like I didn't really like Robin Hood Men in Tights all that much. But I thought Spaceballs was like fucking hilarious. Of course, I haven't seen it in a long time, so it might not have aged.
I thought the humor was very stale when I saw it.
So it might have, it might have been. But like I said, I haven't seen it for a long time.
I went back and saw History of the World Part 1.
Yeah, I remember that from a long time.
And it was stale.
Yeah.
It was like, I used to think it was funny when I was a kid, but I look at it now and I'm like, what was I? This isn't that good. I remembered I rewatched High Anxiety with Mel Brooks and I thought it was good.
Yeah. Well, some of his movies are still funny. I said, Young Frankenstein is absolutely still funny. But, I don't know. I guess it just depends on maybe what the subject matter is. Smugside says Milky Way is better than every other chocolate. Well, like the British Milky Way or because aren't they different? The UK Milky Way.
Who's asking this? CB saying this?
No.
Oh, who said it?
I said Smugside 97.
Okay.
Milky Ways are good, but I don't know if I could pick my favorite. I don't know.
Snickers.
I like Snickers.
Snickers,
especially
Milky
if they're
Way,
frozen.
All those Mars candy bars made by Mars. I think they merged with M&M, didn't they? Isn't M&M and Mars?
Yeah, well, and somebody told me that Dove is owned by Mars also.
By Mars, okay.
Yeah, because Doves are pretty good.
Those are great candy bars when you understand the Herculean task those companies have, which is to fucking make massive amounts of that shit quickly and then distribute it across a vast fucking country. That's why they're there. And when you really think about everything that they went through to make that and to deliver it to you on such a scale, you appreciate, like, man, this is a pretty good product. It's not very expensive, like $1.25 now, I think. And it tastes good.
Yeah.
It's not as good as a candy you'd buy at your local candy maker, handcrafted. But that's not what you're looking for. You need convenience. It's something that's always there, accessible, reliable. It's always there. You could go to any Circle K or any 7-Eleven or any of these fucking stores anywhere and you find a Snickers bar.
Yeah, everybody got Snickers.
Or a fucking Milky Way.
Yeah, they all gone.
They all got them. It's always there. Like a McDonald's hamburger, it's just something that is just available always.
Well, they all got Hershey bars, and they all got Reese's peanut butter cups.
And that, evidently, the shit like that has become kind of like the flagship American candy. But foreigners who don't live here don't have a proper perspective. That's not the best shit we got.
No, there's way better shit.
There's way better shit than that.
That's just the shit that's ubiquitous.
That's the shit that's always there.
And it's like good enough.
It's
like
good
you're
enough.
like, man, I just want a candy bar.
Right.
I don't want to like go out of my way. You know what I mean? And the thing about it, like I said, every time I go to St. Augustine, they have a very, very old candy shop there that makes all their fudge like in the back.
Yeah.
And then they just sell it out front, and it's fucking delicious.
There's places where you can buy a box of box this big, almost the size of a shoebox, maybe a little bit, for $60, and in there it's nothing but just handmade chocolate bars, each one different. And there might be 100 chocolate bars in there, each one of them different, all handmade in that shop. There was a shop like that in Cambridge, Massachusetts, down at Harvard Square. They used to go to all the time. They had made their own chocolate bars. You could buy them in bulk. It was expensive though.
Well, yeah, good shit usually is.
I would go in there for $5, get a single peanut butter cup. But it was the size of an apple.
Yeah, which I couldn't eat in one sitting.
Yeah, it was so rich, man. I was like, what the... You've seen a Reese's peanut butter cup. This was much better. And it was about that thick. And like this big around as a cupcake.
Yeah, see, I could eat a week off
And
that.
you just like... Yeah, you got halfway through it, and it was just so rich. You're like, man, I'm going to have to save the rest of this shit for later.
I need a nap.
And then they had a bunch of different flavors. Some of them were white chocolate. Some of them were fucking...
That's my
dark
favorite.
chocolate. Some of them were fucking milk chocolate. Americans like milk chocolate.
White chocolate peanut butter cups.
And some of them had jelly, peanut butter and jelly.
See, I don't know how I feel
That
about
was
that.
it was good. It was good, real good. Now, British people like jelly. To them, jelly is Jello.
Jello, yeah.
It's jam.
It's like jam, yeah.
It was like jam.
Grape jam, I'm assuming. Or strawberry.
It was. They had strawberry. The white chocolate ones had peanut butter and strawberry.
Okay,
The
see,
milk-
that would probably be good.
The milk chocolate one was peanut butter and grape.
And grape jelly, yeah.
And grape jelly inside that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was good. You couldn't finish it all though.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say even thinking about it, I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I could probably get like 2 bites and I'd be like,
Yeah,
yeah.
one of them was a light brown, and it was a maple flavored chocolate
Oh,
with peanut butter. That one was
that
pretty good
sounds
too.
really good.
Yeah. Which
I
I
think-
don't probably didn't have any chocolate in it.
I
It was
think
just a
last
maple
time I went to St. Augustine, I went to the candy shop. I didn't have like a huge amount of money, but I was like, I gotta get some fucking fudge. You know what I mean? I think they have mint chocolate chip fudge, which is really good, and I think I got maple, and it was maple pecan. I think is what it was, and that shit was fucking outstanding. I didn't get like a huge. I just got like a little slice of each thing. Oh, Full Metal Nosferatu says, Jenny, I looked it up, and that Burt Reynolds shark movie is called Shark. 1969. Well,
Oh, I didn't know about that one. I
yeah,
didn't see that.
1969.
Shark.
It's just called Shark.
He's in it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Victor says Yangling is available in Texas, but only recently.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was like, because I remember like my ex brother-in-law used to always buy Yangling to take back to Colorado because he couldn't get anything.
You can get it from Walmart. Walmart carries it.
Yeah.
That's what or at least they do here.
High Desert says, I don't like beer either. Prefer hard liquor and cocktails. It's like every now and then, like,
It's too fattening.
we'll buy a 6-pack or something. But usually if I'm going to buy beer, it'll be, like, seasonal. Like, because I like the pumpkin beers or, like, coffee kind of flavor. Like, I like shit like that. Like, just regular beers, I don't usually get into it. I'm not really into it.
There's a drink that I'll drink called Black Velvet, which is some kind of stout, like Guinness stout, mixed half and half with hard cider, which is fermented apple cider. Mix it, you get 2 of them, but that's really good.
Smugside says, I've tried beer and tequila. Beer doesn't really give me a buzz, but tequila fucked me up real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, beer, it's just like, it usually just makes me sleepy more than anything else. Tom's a tequila guy. He likes tequila.
Yeah.
That's usually what he drinks when we go out.
Yeah, I like tequila.
I like vodka, rum, and gin on occasion. Although I can't drink too much of it because it's kind of acidic, like when you drink gin and tonics. But I don't really like tequila though. You know, I always tease him because they'll give me my vodka and orange juice, and then he'll get his tequila and orange juice, and mine has a straw and his doesn't, but he takes my straw and stirs his thing, and I'm like, ew, you're getting tequila cooties on it. You can't really taste anything.
Yeah, they pour our drinks fucking strong. It's all
especially that one girl that works there.
That girl, she loves us.
Oh my god! Yeah, I've seen her. I didn't see her do it before.
Pouring, and I'll be looking at her like that, and she's winking, and I'm looking down at her.
She's just like, what? And I'm like, fuck.
And then she's a little splash of orange juice in it, and I'm like,
and I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah. And then sometimes she'll run across the club and be like, come do shots with me.
Yeah, come do shots. Come do shots with her and do shots with her.
And I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Do you want me to fall on the floor? Because that's what's going to happen. Although we have,
we're going to do a shot with her tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh my god. Yeah, Smokeside said, last year, me and my friends were playing Mario Party while taking Giallo shots for gaining stars. We all took so many Giallo shots and tequila when they ran out. We were so wasted that day. Yeah, I mean, you know. Let's see. I kind of got behind on all this other kind of stuff. Full Metal also says, my parents told me that Guinness served in Bermuda comes directly from the UK, but in the States, its ingredients are sent, and apparently the flavors are very different. I have heard that also. I'm not enough of a connoisseur to be able to tell the difference, however. See, CB says, Jenny, in the UK, we have the best food, drugs, and alcohol. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. Y'all do have some good shit over there. And then Tammy says, Lindor, yeah. Those Lindor white chocolate truffle things, oh my god, those are so good. And especially the ones you can get around Christmas that are like white chocolate that have like peppermint. Holy shit. Those are so fucking good. John Gore said Michael Caine could have been a good Bond, but he was in better spy movies anyhow. Yeah, that's true. I could see him as James Bond. But those other three, no way.
You got to have a British guy as Bond.
Well, yeah, that's kind of why there was
stupid.
Clint Eastwood as Bond. No way.
No.
That would not work. That would not work.
If that bitch was, if James Bond came out as American, I wouldn't see that bitch.
Yeah, it's like that's not. I mean, he's such a British character. It would just ruin it.
Well, you know, he used to boast that he was going to be James Bond. Was Dustin Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman.
I'm sure he was probably kidding.
I don't know. He was saying that at the time when, you know, after Rain Man and everything, you know, he was pretty hot actor. You know, Marathon Man, he was in a lot of good movies. And he was, in his day, I think, the best American actor. You look back on it now and you're like, yeah, it's better than the other Americans, but it's still not all that good. You know, Hollywood had shitty actors. Depending on who it was, but he had some good ones. They didn't really get famous. Then they all got typecast, and then they became a fucking parody of themselves. It's just fucking crazy. But no, there's no way fucking Dustin Hoffman could pull off James Bond.
And like I said, I'm sure he was probably.
He's 5'3".
I'm sure he was probably being facetious.
Yeah.
He seems pretty self-aware.
An American, yeah. And very Jewish, you know. It just wouldn't have worked.
That's what I'm saying.
It wouldn't have worked.
John Gore said, local orchard had these homemade gumdrops. Damn, they were good. I didn't even know I liked gumdrops. Yeah, see, I don't like gumdrops. But I don't think I've ever had homemade ones. Yeah. So, and then Randy says, the white chocolate peanut butter cup and white chocolate Kit Kat combo is fire. Yeah. White chocolate and peanut butter together is just... that's just such a good combination. Let's see. John Gore says, oh, have you guys seen Gaspar Noé's Dance Nightmare movie Climax? I think you'd really dig it. I have seen it, yes. Did I review it? I feel like I did, but I'd have to go back and look at all my old videos. But I know I watched it. Yeah, it was a trip. All his shit's kind of a trip. But yeah, I've seen it. I don't think Tom would like it, but I really liked it.
I'll tell you what movie's really hanging in there. Sinners. It's still in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw that it showed up on streaming, but I think it's $20
$20
to run it. And it was #1 still.
Yeah.
On streaming.
Yeah. Fucking,
that's making all the money.
Yeah. Sherry Mouse is going to see it again tomorrow for the 3rd time, she said.
It was so fucking good.
Yeah.
We were talking about it at the club last week because Roxanne had seen it a second time, And I don't think Dawn had seen it yet. I'm like, oh my god, you have to see it. It's like so good.
It's a vampire. It's a vampire movie taking place in Mississippi.
It's so good.
Yeah.
In the 1930s.
In the 30s, yeah. It's Southern Gothic.
I'm just so happy that a movie like that is like kicking ass, because you don't usually see that, because it's it's a genre film, it's historical drama, it's a little bit of a weird premise, like it's kind of a horror movie, but for the first like 2/3 of it, it's not. So I kind of think that it's cool that like so many people are like, yeah, it's a fucking awesome movie, and it's like making all this money.
It's very Southern.
That's pretty awesome.
It's very Southern. It fucking it's a very white and black story at the same time. It's good. Fucking Irish vampire, in a Scots-Irish fucking world of Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. Fucking weird movie, man. It was good.
Yeah, it was a weird flick.
Yeah, well written.
But like I said, I think that's really cool that like a movie like that is getting so much traction, because you wouldn't normally see a movie like that like getting that popular. Zach says, one of my favorite flavor combos is taking a couple scoops of peanut butter or almond butter and putting it in with my chocolate chip ice cream. Oh. I don't think I've ever done that. Now, we have melted peanut butter and put it on, like, vanilla ice cream before. Like, we've done that. But I don't think I've ever done it on chocolate chip ice cream. That might be good. I think I like melted peanut butter on ice cream more than any other thing.
The thing is, though, it cools back down and it solidifies. I'm going to look up a recipe to make that into a peanut butter topping, a peanut butter ice cream topping. So I'm going to thin it out.
Yeah, there's probably some way. I'm sure there's some way to do that.
That way it doesn't ever go back to it stays creamy even if it gets cold.
Yeah.
That's what
I liked that caramel ice cream that you made.
Yeah. I've been making a really good barbecue sauce dip that I've been using. Take barbecue sauce, sriracha, and honey, and paprika, and mix it together in the proper ratios, and just let it sit for a few hours. Man, it is fucking good. I've actually been using that as barbecue sauce. Had it on put it on barbecue chicken sandwiches and shit, or make it as a dip for your chicken nuggets, because I can get chicken nuggets too.
Yeah, we went to the Dollar General.
General
get a bunch of bags
chicken
of
nuggets.
Hey, they're cheap.
Yeah,
and they're good for like cheap lunch,
you
know.
Yeah, I looked up there. They're all protein. There's a little high in sodium, but there's a lot of protein there.
Yeah, it's all right.
And the calories are low.
I like sweet and sour sauce on mine, but you know.
They sell sweet and sour sauce at Dollar General store.
There's Dollar General version for like $2.
$2, yeah.
And it's actually good. It's good.
We ought to do a sub channel of cooking out of Dollar General store.
I really like those kind of channels.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of them in a while, and I can't remember the name of any of them offhand because it's been such a long time. But I particularly like. This is like I made a whole Thanksgiving dinner for like $20, and like they got everything at, it's usually Dollar General or Aldi or someplace like that has like a bunch of cheap stuff, and that's kind of cool because that's like practical information. It's really easy to cook fancy shit when you have like a lot of money and you can buy fancy shit, but it's like most people don't have that, and it's like how can you make cheap shit like taste good?
In the South, our version of 7-Eleven is Dollar General store.
And out here, they're everywhere.
Every fucking where.
Everywhere.
Yeah, every fucking where.
Because especially out in rural areas, they don't like have grocery stores. Like some places, there'll be like no grocery stores. We have one, but like they won't be ones for miles around.
It's just a general store. It has food, clothing, auto care stuff. You can get oil and transmission fluid. You can get fucking shit to recharge your fucking air conditioner.
I'm always surprised at like what they got like furniture,
arts and crafts in there.
Like they got like little bookshelves and shit.
Yeah, it's pretty small. And then you can get beer and wine in there, snacks and food, frozen food, refrigerated food, coffee creamer, cereal. They have their own brand too. What's it called? Clover
Valley.
Yeah, and it's pretty good.
And it's actually not bad.
Because
Tom will go and get like those big cheap like bags of cereal.
Yeah. And it's the cheapest place to shop.
Well, and it's easy because it's right there. It's like you could walk to it from our house. Yeah. It's like right there.
It's right there, and it's cheap because they're not real fancy. The stores are not fancy inside. They're very basic, so they keep the costs down. And but it's the same products. You can get razors, medicine. It's a general store.
Makeup.
It's because of your makeup.
Fake eyelashes.
Yep. And it's because a lot of the South is basically a food desert.
Yeah.
So there's
like I said, we're kind of lucky. We have a Publix, like a nice Publix, just right up the street from us. But the Dollar General, like usually if we're just grabbing a few things, like it's easier just go to the Dollar General because it's right there. Like I said, it's like it takes literally 2 minutes.
And if you get out on this main road and just fucking drive that way over there, you're gonna pass about 8 of them.
Yeah,
every fucking mile,
everywhere.
there's gonna be another one, and another one, and another one.
That's their whole business plan.
It's just massive amount of stores.
Just these small stores that kind of have everything that you would reasonably need.
Yeah, you can buy ice out front.
And they put them in a rural area that doesn't have access to a lot of grocery stores or a lot of like fast food restaurants or anything like that either. Because there's really not a lot of fast food around us.
No.
Either. Yeah. Like we have a Dunkin' Donuts, which they just put there like a year ago.
It's out of business.
It did it?
They closed
Are you
it.
sure?
They closed it.
I thought you said that before, but then it wasn't closed.
I thought it was closed.
No, it's not closed.
It's not closed? Okay.
No. But it hasn't been there that long. There's a Dunkin' Donuts. There's a Domino's.
Yeah, there's a fucking Chinese restaurant.
Well, it's Japanese. Well, there's a Chinese takeout.
And then there's a good Japanese.
And there's
restaurant.
a good Japanese like sit down restaurant,
Yeah.
like sushi and stuff like that. Like they have really good food.
We live in a golf course, and there's a golf course restaurant here too with a bar. But we very rarely go.
We've been there like one time, and we just went there and picked food up.
It was good. It's just it's not cheap.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And it's like it's pretty basic. They just got like fish and chips and like BLT like sandwiches
fries,
and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's kind of nice that it's in the neighborhood. You know, you just kind of got. I don't remember what the name of it is, the Bear Den or something like that. It's just like this little restaurant on the, and you can eat in there, but it's not. It's not real. It's not like a restaurant. Like they have a bunch of tables and stuff, but it's not like super ambiance or anything like that. Because like I said, it's mostly just for people going out on the golf course. So it's like they have food, like you can get meals in there and eat in there, but mostly there's like snacks and drinks like in little machines and whatnot. But like I said, you can call them and like just go and pick food up, which is what we did. I've never eaten in there because I didn't want a bunch of golfers like looking at me weird, you know, because I'm like thinking it's like, what are you guys doing here? I'm like, we live here, bitch. I know it doesn't look like we should, but we do. CB says I've eaten peanut butter and chocolate out of my girlfriend's belly button before. Ooh, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. Oh, and then Zach specifies that he meant mint chocolate chip ice cream. I mean, I'm sure that's good too. Mint chocolate chip is probably my favorite flavor, although not gonna lie, I'll eat most flavors of ice cream. I mean, ice cream is good, right? I'm not super into like fruity flavors, but Tom makes a lemon ice cream that has like crunched up lemon cookies in it. That's like really good. And he made a berry one. You made a blackberry one.
Yeah,
we still have some of that.
Blackberry cobbler.
Yeah, he's black. Yeah, that's right, blackberry cobbler because you put like butter and
cinnamon.
And cinnamon in there, so it kind of tastes like a blackberry pie kind of. And that was really good. CB said, Tom and Jenny, if you can get it in the U.S., you should try. Is it Stowaway or Stormaway? Black pudding. Yeah, no thanks. I'm not a big black pudding fan.
And then just bread and blood cooked in a sausage.
It's casing. Like it's basically like congealed blood in a sausage casing. It's like a breakfast.
Yeah, nah.
People eat it for breakfast.
And Americans are not
like.
big.
Look, I like bloody steak as much as the next person. But
yeah.
That's a bit of a step too far.
Americans are not big on internal organs.
Mm.
Anything that comes out of the inside, like livers and kidneys and shit.
Like people eat them, but it's not real popular.
Yeah, no. The people that would eat them most is like very old school, very low income Southerners.
Mm.
They eat shit that's like.
Yeah, my
grandparents were eating shit. It was like, man, I would eat that.
She loved liver and brains.
Yeah.
Like calves' brains and scrambled eggs. Like she would eat that sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, they would eat fucking hog jaws.
That too.
It's like, oh man, or chitlins.
Yeah, that too.
It was just fucking pork guts. I think it's pork guts, or is it beef?
I don't even remember what the fuck is even chitlins.
Chitlins.
Yeah, Tammy says poor people food. Yeah, that's what it is.
Super poor people food.
And it's like, look, it's like we don't have to eat that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't have a lot of money, but it's like I have enough money to not eat that.
They were eating that shit in the Depression here. The lowest I'll go, that is, in terms of Southern food, pickled pig feet.
Yeah, he'll eat those.
I'll eat them, man. They're not that good. They're too fucking sour. Vienna sausage. That's some poor people food. Potted meat. That's pretty fucking... You can only eat that on crackers. My dad eat the shit out of potted meat.
Yeah, my dad did too.
And here's the thing. You take potted meat... I tried to cook it one time, and it disappeared. I put it in the microwave.
Yeah.
It disappeared.
Because it's all fat.
It's all fat. It's just... It was like a clear oil is what once I cooked it. With a little bit of fucking meat floating in it. And I was like, that's what that is? He goes, yeah. My dad was like, yeah, you can't cook that. Yeah, go, give me that. Give me that. Pop the top off.
Don't waste that.
With the crackers, you know.
Don't waste it.
I mean, it's below deviled ham. The deviled ham is fucking high cuisine compared to potted meat. It's fucking terrible.
And I'm not, like I said, I'll eat it, but it's not real.
Right.
Like Tom's into Spam and shit like that, but it's just like...
I'm gonna defend Spam like I defend Tom Cruise.
I don't really like Spam. It's too salty. Even the low salt one is too salty.
Well, they have a bunch of different flavors now. And,
I know, but
here's the thing: Spam is not.
They all taste the same to me, though.
Well, I'm gonna defend Spam. Spam is not mystery meat. It's pork shoulder. That's a pretty high quality cut. It's cooked in a can and in brine because it's old school recipe, and they wanted to make sure that there was no refrigeration then when they made that. They wanted to make sure it would not rot. It ended up being the basic combat ration. All of World War II Army, U.S. Army, was powered on Spam. That's the only meat they got. And they would eat 1 can of Spam a day, at least. That was a ration with like crackers and coffee and cigarettes. That's what the Army was powered by.
Which is like super funny.
Spam is good if you know what to do with it. You slice it thin and you fry it so it gets nice and crisp. And then you eat it on like fucking... You can eat it with eggs.
I kind of feel like that's a popular
eggs and toast,
application.
make a sandwich out of it. You can fucking put barbecue sauce on it and fucking in nice.
The
bread.
Hawaiians love it, man.
Oh yeah. Hawaiians love the shit because that's what they have out there. But now they got bacon flavored. That's good. They got fucking spicy like chorizo. They have a chorizo, a Mexican flavored sausage one. They have everything. They have.
They had to like.
They have a turkey one. That's good.
Yeah, they do have a turkey one.
Um.
We've gotten into turkey bacon like pretty recently.
Yeah, turkey bacon's good.
We'll put it on like egg sandwiches.
You got to cook it for a long time for it to get a basic bacon consistency. That's the only thing. If you want it to be consistent, if you want it like a ham consistency, just don't cook it as long. It can do either one. But Spam is actually not as cheap as it was. It's pretty expensive. You know, one can is like almost $5 now. But it's a lot of protein if you're working out and you're trying to eat a bunch of meat for protein and everything. Spam. Now the new Spam is low sodium. It's less saltier than it was.
But it's still salty to me.
It's not that.
And I like salt.
I remembered how salty the original was. It was a lot worse. The thing is that the other ones are not salty at all. Just the original flavor is kind of a little bit salty.
I don't know. It tastes very salty to me. I don't know.
They had a jalapeno ones. It's good.
I don't know. It just seems like heartburn in a can is pretty much what I think of when I see it.
I've also had it in tacos. You take it like the jalapeno one, fry it, maybe cut it into slivers, put that in the bottom of a taco with cheese.
I mean, that might work if it was kind of like just a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was other stuff like cheese and vegetables on top of it. It might be okay. But just in big...
I got a shit ton of Maseca I need to use up and a shit ton of fucking Spam in storage of all different kinds of flavors. I ought to make us some Spam tacos with the handmade tortillas.
Shit, now we're just encouraging him.
Yeah.
Now we're just...
Because I got a lot of Maseca. That's for making tortillas.
Yeah.
I got a 25-pound bag of that shit also, along with a bunch of
Holy shit, I didn't know you still had all that.
Yeah. Still have had it for years. I don't think it goes bad.
Well, I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
Randy says, I'll eat cow tongue, but I have to be in the mood. I've heard cow tongue
isn't bad. It's good.
I've heard it's okay. I don't know if I could... I would probably eat it if it didn't look like a tongue. And if people...
No, they slice it like ham.
I know, and if somebody didn't tell me what it was, I'd probably eat it. But Tom also likes chicken hearts.
I love chicken hearts.
He likes chicken hearts. That's a big Brazilian thing.
Yeah, it's a Brazilian churrascaria thing.
Like he's eating them like on a stick, like all these
Brazilian
little chicken
barbecue. Fucking love it.
So,
one of the few. Now I will eat some beef liver if it's cooked right. But I've also fucking smelled beef liver cooking and go, man, that's not. Oh no, I ain't eating that.
No.
And I like fucking turkey gizzard.
Yeah, like I said, at Thanksgiving he usually makes a gravy out of all the insides. Well, not all of them.
Not all of it, some.
Just some of it.
Mostly gizzard.
And that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Because there's not so much in it, and there's other stuff in there that kind of mellows the flavor out a little bit, so it's not so pungent.
Right. Yeah. In general, Americans do not like the internal organ flavor.
It is a very strong flavor.
Yeah.
It's very like irony.
Yeah. A lot of traditional British cuisine is poor people food. Like most traditional cuisines are poor people food. And what the British were eating down there was fucking bad. I wouldn't eat that. It was on par or worse than fucking old school Southern food. But we had spice. We had other influences in our diet. Although I have had some traditional British shit. It's pretty good. Pasties are pretty good.
I love Cornish pasties.
Fish and chips, fucking great.
My favorite one is the lamb and mint pasty.
Yeah, I haven't had that one. I'm not big on lamb.
Or pork and apple. There's a pork and apple one. That one's really good.
Yeah, I've had that.
I had that several times while I was over there, and those are really good.
Yeah, and British is like meat with gravy and potatoes, bread.
Which I like that.
Yeah, it's good.
I like that sometimes.
Yeah, it's good.
I like a wide variety of things.
But they'll do some shit that is ghetto as fuck. You know what I mean? Like pour a whole fucking can of beans on some toast and eat that.
See, that is gross as fuck to me. Well, see, I had never heard of that before. Because, like, when I first moved over there in the early 90s, or the mid-90s, I guess it was, and they're doing breakfast, which is, like, I don't actually eat breakfast, hardly ever. And even if I did, it would just be, like, something really small, like a cup of yogurt or something.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, just do toast, and I'm like, okay, that's fine with me. But then they're, like, pouring a can of beans, or, like, a can of SpaghettiOs?
SpaghettiOs and shit, yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, you're just like ruining the toast. It's like you're making it all soggy and gross.
Yeah.
Who
it's
eats
like putting corn on pizza.
Ew.
What are you doing?
Like, that's so gross.
No.
I still think that's pretty gross.
I saw a reaction of an American guy. He made the toast with the beans on it and fucking picked it and ate it. And he's like, it tastes like beans on toast.
Yeah.
Said,
no surprises there.
Yeah, it tastes like beans on toast. Nah. Yeah,
I'm like, I can't face beans that early in the morning.
And they were right out of the can, unmodified.
I just can't. Well, and especially nothing out of a can. Like I said.
Yeah.
I don't usually eat breakfast. When I got up to go to work or something like that, at the most I would eat like a little cup of yogurt or like an apple or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe some toast if I was feeling frisky. But that's about it.
I know I got CD in here. He's British. Those cans of beans that you have, we have those here in the U.S., but we almost never eat them like that. What you do is you take that can of beans, maybe two of them, and you empty them out into a glass pan, cooking dish. Then you squirt a bunch of fucking spicy mustard in it, maybe about like half a cup of brown sugar, dill relish.
Yeah.
Put some of that in it, and then diced green peppers or bell pepper. Put that in it. Diced onions. Put that in it. Mix it all together and bake it, and then reduce it till it becomes kind of thick and pasty, almost kind of like Mexican refried beans. Pull that out and eat that. That's nobody eats that for breakfast.
No. Baked beans and stuff like that. That's like a summer picnic food.
Picnic food.
You eat that with
sandwiches,
with burgers and hot dogs.
Yeah.
And potato salad.
Ham and cheese sandwich.
That you eat it with that.
Yeah.
Like when you're having a cookout.
Yeah.
Like for 4th of July or something.
Because that baked bean dish I just gave you, you can look it up, like American fucking baked beans, and you can eat that cold. It's good cold, but it's better hot. But you can eat it cold. I've had it cold for a picnic. Yeah, Like lukewarm.
I don't generally. I'm not a big baked beans fan. But yeah, but like I said, that's generally that's like classic American summer picnic food. Like I said, you do burgers and hot dogs and sometimes steaks like on the grill.
Yeah.
And then sides, you have baked beans, you have coleslaw, and then you usually have potato salad or macaroni salad or some kind of cold something like that.
There's a way to take
some
those
kind of
beans
carb
and to put a bunch of brown sugar in them, and I think honey, brown sugar, and then barbecue sauce, and mix it up, and then bake them again. And it's barbecue baked beans. I don't know the exact recipe, but I had those before. They were really good. I mostly had the other kind, like the sugar beans.
Yeah, that's like the most popular.
That's the real southern one. Yeah.
Now, Rianda says, I eat beans for breakfast with eggs and a tortilla. Now, I have heard of that.
Yeah.
Like a breakfast burrito.
Yes, a breakfast burrito.
Yeah, like that's I feel like that's a slightly different application.
Especially if
okay, that's allowed.
If they were Mexican frijoles.
Not just pouring it on toast, though. That's just gross.
Yeah. If it's Mexican frijoles that you're eating, then yeah. But we're talking. That's not what we're talking. We're talking about English beans, or American beans, which is
like
beans.
like Heinz beans.
They're beans in a very light tomato sauce, kinda. It's slight. Wasn't it slightly tomatoey, or is it
I think it's tomatoey. I don't know.
I think it's slightly tomatoey.
Like I said, I can't eat that shit that early in the morning.
Yeah.
My stomach can't take it.
Yeah.
It's just
I haven't seen them. I don't think it's tomatoey. Is it?
I don't know. I'd have to go look. Like I said, we have the American style ones, and at most grocery stores, most Publixes have like a small British section, so you can usually get the British Heinz beans as well if you're into that.
Yeah, they might be a little bit different.
But yeah, they might be. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to look. Now, CB says, fuck turkey, it's dried chicken. Oh no, man.
No, you're fucked up. What country is he from?
That's CB, it's CB.
CB, yeah. He knows better. I already told you, dude.
Turkey is
the British people don't know how to cook
delicious.
turkey. And it's moist.
If you cook it right. But I kind of feel like, well, see, the problem is, I don't know why, like, turkey got such a bad rap for being dry, because people don't know how to fucking cook it.
Yeah.
They don't know how to fucking cook it. That's the problem.
It's got to be cooked at a very fucking low heat for a very long time.
For a long time.
We're talking 8 hours. And it has to be covered in tin foil.
And you got to baste that bitch with butter or olive oil.
Yeah, it's got to be stuffed, and that stuffing has to have a lot of butter in it because it's going to melt and go into that chicken, or into that turkey. And then in the last hour, you take the tin foil off and put it back in the oven, and it'll brown the outside. So it can brown on
the outside. But you want to make sure it's cooked all the way through.
No, it's like a big fucking turkey, and we get big turkeys here. Especially, and I'll buy extra turkeys.
Because at Thanksgiving, they practically give the shit away.
Practically giving the shit away at the store.
Here, it's like 29 cents a pound.
29 cents a pound. I'm like, give me 4 of them, and I'll freeze them. And no, you just don't know how to cook them. Fucking next time you cook a turkey or buy a turkey, use American instructions on how to cook a Thanksgiving Day turkey. And they're gonna give you the right fucking. It's gonna give you what temperature and the time based upon how much the turkey weighs. And if it's stuffed or unstuffed, always stuff the turkey. Always.
Although I've cooked it without stuffing it, and
it's going to be a little dry.
No, it came out just fine.
Did it?
It came out just fine.
I thought it should be drier.
No, it came out just fine.
All right.
You don't have. I don't think you have to put the stuffing in it, because some people don't, because they're afraid of like foodborne contaminants and stuff like that. But I cooked it. I cooked a couple turkeys without stuffing it, and it came out out perfect.
But the legs should basically just fall off, and it's moist, fucking dark meat. Like, you don't have to cut the leg off. You can just grab the leg, and it will just come off the turkey. And then you slice it.
Because I eat all the dark.
She'll eat all the dark.
I like it. The
breast will slice out, and it'll be nice and moist. As you're cutting it, you'll have fucking drippings dripping out of it. And it's cooked through. It's not pink or anything. It's a little bit more moist than chicken breast.
I think.
A little bit more, yeah. And the flavor is like chicken. It's like a giant chicken.
And I never get tired of turkey. Like, after Thanksgiving, I always look forward to Thanksgiving. Like, I love all the Thanksgiving stuff. But even better than that is, like, all the leftovers. You get to make sandwiches. You get to make soup out of it. We made turkey curry a few times.
I saw a reaction.
Turkey pot pies.
I saw a reaction video of British people here in the South. They went to one of the barbecue places. I forgot which one it was. And they got like the biggest thing on the menu, and it had a little bit of everything in it. And when it got to the turkey, they were like, yeah, the turkey's usually not any good. And then they tasted it, and they were like, what the fuck is so moist? What is this? This is turkey? And the woman said, where we come from, turkey's really dry. And fucking...
Y'all just cooking it too fucking
You took it wrong. You're cooking it too fast.
You're cooking it wrong.
It's got to go real slow. And it's got to be covered in tinfoil. Sealed up. In that fucking...
For most of the cooking.
Yeah, not on the bottom. You got it in a tray.
Yeah, you got to cook it for hours and hours.
It's got to be in a turkey pan, and the turkey pan's got a rack that holds it off the bottom, so all the drippings fall underneath it. You got to make a tent over it out of tinfoil. So you're kind of like making a Dutch oven. And usually it's around, what was it, 300 degrees, I think?
Yeah, it's pretty low. Like 300 or 325 or something like that. Depending on, and then how much it weighs.
It's usually 6 hours.
Yeah, like usually 5-6 hours, something like that. And then like the last hour-ish, you take the tinfoil off.
It might have been 275.
And like I said, I usually, like when I made them, I would always baste the skin with olive oil.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that too.
Or butter works too.
I used both.
Yeah.
I started with vegetable oil, and then towards the end put butter.
Yeah.
Take a stick of butter, unwrap the fucking, you got fucking, what do you call it? You got the paper, the wax paper.
Yeah.
Use the wax paper like a glove and just rub it over like on the outside of it Now here's the thing, they got people that are fucking. They're anal about it, where they want to baste the turkey every hour.
No.
It slows the cooking time. You're going to lose a couple hours of cooking time if you do that.
I was just going to say, I think the old school, the reason why a lot of people fucked them up is because they thought they had to keep opening the oven and basting it, and you're just going to fuck up your cooking time. You're going to fuck it up.
You're going to fuck it up.
Stop opening the fucking oven.
During that whole thing, I might only baste it twice.
Yeah, like stop it.
6 hours, yeah.
They just keep doing that. And that's, like I said, I think that's why a lot of people's turkeys didn't come out right.
Yeah.
Because they kept opening the fucking oven. Stop doing that.
And then they don't know how. Another thing is they don't know how to fucking wash a turkey. Put the turkey in the sink and fucking rinse it off with the fucking spray. Your hose. Our sink. You can pull the head of the sink off and use it like a fucking spray gun. Wash it out inside and out. Take an entire handful of fucking iodized salt or Morton salt and just scrub the whole chicken in and out with salt. And just scrub it. You'll see little dark spots and pull fucking any feathers, pull it just out of the skin. And then put your hand in through the back of it and fucking scrub the inside of that turkey and then rinse it all out.
Yeah, don't be shy.
Yeah, wash that fucker with salt. It acts like scouring powder, scouring cleaner. And then put it on the rack and wrap it up. Fucking stuff it. I like cornbread stuffing. But you can use... The stovetop now has these bags of pre-made stuffing that's pretty fucking good.
Those are pretty good.
Pretty fucking good. Yeah, just add water.
It's better than like the shitty
better
old
than
stuff.
It used to be. Yeah.
Old school shit that came in a box.
Yeah, and they have cornbread flavor. I use the cornbread.
Which I like cornbread stuffing, honestly. I mean, all stuffings are pretty good, but cornbread is good. Full Metal Nosferatu said, have y'all ever made a Thanksgiving shepherd's pie? No, I don't think so, but man, that's a good idea. I love shepherd's pie. We've made a lot of stuff with the leftover turkey. Usually I'll just eat a fucking sandwich because I love turkey sandwiches. But you just put fucking stuffing and mayonnaise and cranberry sauce like right on the shit. You know what I mean? Maybe some pickles. Maybe have some mashed potatoes on the side. But yeah, we made curry with it a couple times. Trying to think what else. Like we made soup with it a few times. Actually, shit. Tom made a really good soup yesterday just from like vegetable leftovers that we had from the garden. Like we had all these like just vegetable cast-offs that were in there, and he's like, fuck it, I'm just making a soup out of it. So they made a soup out of it, and it was like, man, it was really good. I ate 2 mugs of that. It was all peppery. He put all this pepper in there. It was man, it was good. CB said I do popcorn chicken in the air fryer. Yeah, we make a lot of stuff in there. We even make pizzas and that shit nowadays. It's like much quicker. It's much quicker. Yeah, Big Dog is talking about the Heinz beans. Yeah, Tom is right. It's a little tomatoey, maybe a bit barbecue.
Yeah, it's a little bit tomatoey. That's what.
Yeah. Yeah, Tammy says $3.25 at 13 minutes per pound.
Yeah,
that's about right.
I remember it was low. I was around 300.
I gotta pee now. You've been
like 5 times. Now here's something else, people. Because fucking Thanksgiving and the holidays around the corner. You may want to make a turkey. You might want to make a turkey. When I said you got to use that fucking turkey pan. It's a large fucking pan made out of metal. It's got a rack that holds the turkey off the bottom of it. at the end of the cooking process, that pan's going to be filled with fucking drippings. And you need those drippings. That's what you're going to make your gravy out of. You drain all that shit out of the pan. Take the turkey out, put it to the side, drain all that shit into the pan. Take a ladle and take some of that, mix it in with maybe like a half a cup or a cup of flour. Make a paste out of it and slowly add more of those drippings to that paste till it gets thinner and thinner and thinner. Then put that in a frying pan, start cooking it. Add more of the fucking, use all your drippings and then let it cook down. Then you can put your giblets in there. That's your gizzard chopped up. Now, then I could divide them in half. I say I'll take half of it and I'll have turkey gravy over here, and the other half I'm gonna turn that into vegetable gravy. And you take your stock pot that had all your fucking celery and your onion in there that you made the stock water for in order to make the dressing. You can take some of that, put that in there. So you're gonna, you take the cooked onion and the celery in that stock pot, blend it with an immersion blender, like that. And now it's green. Add some of the turkey juice to that, and then cook that down. So now you got two gravies: a turkey gravy and a vegetable turkey gravy. Mm-hmm. So I have two different gravies, like green vegetable gravy and turkey gravy. They're both great. I don't waste anything.
I mean, yeah.
Everything will end up as either gravy or something you're going to eat.
Well, like I was saying, yesterday you made that vegetable soup with just kind of...
I had all these vegetables trimmings. I made a soup out of it. I made a cream of... Basically, it's cream of broccoli soup. And all it did, it only had broccoli stalks in it. It didn't have that, just the stalks and the leaves. But I cooked them down and blended them. So there was no broccoli floret in there. I took the broccoli florets and served that as something else. All the trash, it was shit I grew out in the backyard. All the stalks and all the leaves, that trash, I just chopped it up fine and boiled it down to nothing and then blended it.
Yeah.
Added cream to it, fucking
it was delicious.
Onions,
tomatoes,
zucchini, tomatoes, all the shit out of the garden. Seasoned it, salt, pepper, a little bit of seasoned salt.
We have so many tomatoes, you guys.
Cream.
It's not even funny. And we've been eating sandwiches for the last couple of days and slicing tomatoes and putting them on them, but we still have a million.
Yeah, there's got a lot of tomatoes. I gotta make tomato sauce.
Yeah, we gotta do something with all those tomatoes, man.
Yeah.
It's just
I got beautiful tomatoes. I got Roma tomatoes. I got these Russian fucking purple tomatoes, the Russian black tomatoes. I got fucking regular steak tomato. I forgot what this shit's called. It's just like a regular big old fucking...
Isn't it a beef steak?
Beef steak.
Yeah. Klaus says Gordon Ramsay just entered the chat.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
I like to cook.
Yeah. Well, and you're really, really good at it.
Thank you.
You're really good at it. See, this is why I don't hardly ever cook nothing.
No, you don't cook.
No, I don't cook nothing.
You'll make yourself something in the microwave.
I used to when I had to.
Yeah. When
I lived by myself. But, you know. Now they're just like, well, Tom enjoys it.
Yeah. Man, remember when I used to make the Thai soup?
Yeah.
Well, I still make Thai. What was the thing? Remember, I made the Thai...
it was like a coconut
lemon soup.
Lemon
I haven't
soup.
had that in a while. Yeah.
Yeah. That was... I still think about that soup.
I'll have to go back on that.
And it's like, and I can't even remember what all was in it.
Shrimp and vegetables.
Oh my God, that was so fucking good. I love Thai food anyways.
Yeah.
You know. Full Metal says, Tom soup sounds better than my great-grandmother's abomination she forced onto my dad. I think back in the day, and you know, my grandparents were also guilty of this. They didn't really season anything.
Yeah.
Everything was just really bland.
They didn't like salt and pepper.
And they cooked everything to death.
Yeah. Especially vegetables. They just cooked them to death.
Like I said, when I was growing up, I thought I didn't even like vegetables because of they just cooked the shit out. They cooked all the flavor out. They cooked all the nutrition out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and another thing that I forgot to say is that maybe 1/3 of all the greens that I used to make that cream of broccoli soup, 1/3 of the greens that were in there had nothing to do with broccoli. They were sweet potato leaves.
Yeah.
But they're it's like spinach. When it cooks, it
kind of tastes like
all
spinach,
kind of tastes the same.
So.
And you blend it, and it's all green. You know.
Klaus says, have you been to Thailand? I have not. No. Although, like I said, I don't know, man. It's I like pretty much most food. But if I had to pick a cuisine, I don't know if I could. Indian food is up there because I fucking love Indian food.
Or at least the shit we have here.
Yeah. But Thai food, that's up there too.
Yeah.
holy crap, like Thai food is really good. But I don't know, it's all good. It's all good.
And we're only getting certain select Thai dishes, I think, that are for the American taste. I mean,
yeah, although the Thai restaurant we go to has a massive, massive menu.
Yeah.
Like it's like a fucking novel.
And it's Thai people running it.
And I'm always kind of like, man, every time we go, because we go there, every few weeks or so, because it's not that far. And their food is really good.
Yeah.
But
we get the curry.
I'm always just kind of like, I want to try like so much of the other stuff, but man, their massaman curry is like so fucking good that like that every time I get there, I'm like, I'm gonna get something else, and I'm like, like that shit is so good though.
Yeah,
it's so good.
And I can make it here.
Yeah,
it's just that
I'm
out of the curry mix paste. I gotta get more.
Yeah, we haven't been to the Asian grocery store in a while.
Yeah,
it's not
was that House of Spices or no? Where was that?
Yeah, I think so. It's not as close to our house as it used to be.
Yeah.
Like, we used to live... I mean, it wasn't super close, but it's a lot closer than now.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a closer... Is there a closer Asian market around here?
No.
I don't think there is.
No, we just have to go back there.
Yeah, we'll just have to go to that same one.
Yeah.
So, it's just going to be a drive.
Yeah. Well, we ought to stop by there next time we're in that area.
We probably should, because I'm sure we've... Like you said, we don't even have like a lot of the curry paste or anything like that. Because you can get some curry paste at the grocery store, but not the kind that we want.
Yeah, not at the prices either. You want the
it's
real
usually
Thai stuff. It comes in a can, like a little tuna can, and it's a lot more affordable. We have an American version of it, which is probably the same thing, but it's in a glass jar, and they want a lot for it.
And it's like 3 times as much.
And it's only half the amount.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you need the little flat tuna fish can. Size. It's a lot cheaper. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Full Metal said my great-grandmother forced him to eat tomato soup with chopped onions and evaporated milk.
That could be okay if it was cooked, if it's seasoned right.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could.
It's cream and tomato soup.
But still, I mean, that's like the ghetto way of making it, I guess.
She probably didn't know what she was doing, or that was just all she had, or some shit like that.
I mean, the thing about it, you can make like a pretty kick-ass tomato soup just by mixing a jar of like pre-made... like spaghetti sauce, essentially, like with chunky vegetables in it, and like some cream.
Yeah.
And like mixing it together. Like that actually comes out pretty good. Yeah. Like if you're in a pinch, because it's already spiced and everything.
Yeah.
So, but I've done that a couple times when I was lazy. Yeah. And it actually, because I love tomato soup, and it actually like works pretty good.
You eat it with a fucking
grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And especially like in the fall and the winter, man. There's nothing better than like some cream and tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich. You can dip it in there.
She asked for it, and I always forget about it. I ought to make some.
Mm.
I got all those tomatoes there.
That's one of my favorite things. I even
got like a couple pounds of Velveeta cheese.
I think that's kind of like one of my comfort foods.
Yeah.
And I like kind of chunky tomato soup. Like with some chunks of tomatoes in it.
Easy to do that.
Yeah.
Easy.
It's funny, when I was growing up, I didn't really like tomato soup. Which is crazy to think about now, because now it's one of my favorite things. I didn't really like tomatoes.
Fresh basil that'd be good in it too.
Yeah.
And fresh
parsley.
I'm growing parsley, basil, and oregano
out back. Yeah. Yeah, we got a big backyard, growing all kind of stuff.
We're almost on an acre of land.
We even had a chicken sandwich before we did the show, and we also had 2 peaches for dessert that grew out back also. Didn't they grow out back, those peaches?
Yeah. I don't know.
I thought they did.
What's that?
Those peaches.
No, I bought those.
Oh, you bought those?
Yeah, I got peaches growing out there, but they're not ready.
Oh, they're not? Okay. So those weren't the ones. I thought they were the ones that you grew out back. I thought that's what you said.
And they weren't quite ripe, those ones that came out of that bag. They needed a couple more days.
They were pretty good.
I'm almost out of them.
They're pretty good, though. Klaus says all you talk about is food. Well, no, we talk about porn and stuff, too. It just so happens we got off on a food tangent. We just go off on tangents. Like I said, the Friday night show, it doesn't have a topic.
Yeah.
So we just talk about whatever kind of comes up. Let's see. I'm still thinking about that tomato soup with the evaporated milk in it. Like I said, I guess I don't know about the like chopped were they dehydrated onions or just regular onions? Were they cooked onions or were they raw onions? Because
you're asking him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can't do raw onions anymore. I love onions, but
they can't be raw. They all got to be cooked.
The
soup's got to be cooked.
Like I said, I can't even eat raw onions on a burger anymore. It's just like I said, that's just like fucking heartburn city.
I can eat them, no problem.
Heartburn city. Yeah, Full Metal, not surprised I said raw. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty nasty.
She didn't know what she was doing.
That's pretty nasty. Had you sautéed them ahead of time and then put them in there, that might have been that'd be pretty good.
Cook them first in butter. Dice them, cook them first in butter, and then fucking start adding your tomato paste and stuff, and make sure that then use cream to thin it out. Make sure it's got salt and pepper in there, whatever kind of seasonings you may have. Just very basic. I can make a tomato soup out of what you said. If you had a little bit of basil, it'd be even better.
Yeah, I mean, Tom has made
They call
stuff.
it basil in England. Yeah, basil.
Basil. Well, that's like the name.
Mm-hmm. That's a man's name there too. It
is,
call
yeah.
dudes Basil.
Basil.
My name is Basil. Okay.
No, Basil.
Yeah, I know. Same thing. They mean basil.
They also say oregano.
Yeah, oregano. We call it oregano.
Yeah. I don't know which one is more correct.
I heard some British people get reacted to Southern accents, and a girl said they asked a Southern girl, she's from like Tennessee or something. Say theater, and she goes theater. And the British dude was appalled. He was like theater, and then maybe they don't have maybe they don't have theaters where she comes from.
What is she even saying?
Theater. Yeah.
Well, Southerners do like to add a few extra syllables in there.
She was just being relaxed. Yeah, I'm gonna go down to the theater. Yeah.
That's very Southern. I don't say it like that.
Yeah. And what's funny is that there's the Southern accent. It was in Mississippi. It was kind of gendered. The way women spoke and the way guys spoke was different. Women were more drawn out and a real high pitch, kind of histrionic sounding. A lot of them. And a lot fancier. At least it was back in the day. Especially if they were really in the country. It was just drawn out. Women would draw it out even more than guys. It's called a drawl. You know?
No wonder they never get anything done. They're too busy like fucking saying the same sentence the rest of us could say in like a couple of seconds. It takes them like 5 minutes to say the shit.
Oh yeah, it took forever. It took forever for my grandmother to say shit. Well, I guess I'll go down to the store. I'm gonna see if they got anything.
Yeah, I know exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, let's go.
Women were even more drawn out than it is, because I reckon that if I look long enough, I will find something. I think.
Yeah.
You remember?
I know exactly what you're talking
and I'm like, come on, get over, get this.
Oh my God, it's like 3 in the afternoon by now.
Yeah.
Some of us have things to do, you know.
Now, don't rush me. You know how it is.
That was another thing too. Like old people, like especially old Southern people, they would go to the store and they had to look at every single thing and like pick it up and like comment on it. Like they're not gonna buy that.
Yeah.
Holy crap! It's just like it. It was just like an all-day affair.
They were born in another time. It wasn't. It was. I think life was a lot slower.
I was like, don't you guys have anything to do or
everything was cool?
Something. It's like, oh my God. I'm just kind of like, even though I was born in Florida, I'm like one of those like New Yorker people. I'm like, let's go, come on. Yeah. Why is this taking so long? I'm like super, super impatient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you don't do something like right away, I get like kind of irritated about it. I don't like all these people that like mosey through the mall and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, boo!
I've seen examples of some fucking really old school fucking backwoods Scotland and Ireland. You know, videos of these guys talking. They're in their fucking 70s. They're trying to record this back in the 80s and the 90s. You know, I couldn't understand a word they were fucking saying. I think the Southern accent's bad. Fucking some of that fucking Scottish and Irish accents are just fucking off a fucking chain. But you could hear that there was a similarity with the Southern accent, kinda.
Yeah.
Something about the spirit behind it. Real strong R's. One of the things that I noticed. Very strong R's. The only difference is that Southerners don't drop H's.
Yeah.
We say H's. We never end the word with A. Like, I would say Heather. A British man would say Heather. Heather. It sounds gayer. You know what I mean? Kind of a gay sound.
Okay.
To the South, it's got to be very heterosexual. Strong R. Heather. Like that,
Sometimes they'll put R's on words that don't even have them, like winder.
Yeah. Winder. Yeah.
Open that winder over there.
Open that winder.
My dad used to say that.
Yeah.
I'm like, winder? That doesn't have an R in it.
God damn it! I'm down to my last round of ammunition.
I mean, yeah. That sounded kind of like your dad there for a minute. You said something last night, and you said, "Oh my god, I just sounded like my dad."
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was you said.
I was talking about laying down, doing something, fucking eating something, and I heard my dad's voice come out.
I think that happens to most people.
Yeah.
My voice doesn't really sound like my mom's voice, but... Well, I mean, it kind of does. That's what was kind of weird. Like, when my mom came to visit, she had never met our kitties before.
Yeah.
And the kitties would normally, like, run the fuck away. Like, if somebody comes... Like, they'll come out after a little while. Like, if they're like, is this person okay? They'll come out and smell your bags or whatever you brought with you and make sure you're not a terrorist or whatever. But when my mom came, they didn't hide. Like, they didn't come to her right away. But, I mean, she was in the living room. My mom was in the, like, upstairs living room with me. And Bambi came over and just, like, plopped, like, right at her feet, like she would do with me. And my mom, like, bent down and started petting her belly and stuff. She was like, ah, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I think that she knew. And Pookie was laying on the bed. And me and my mom went over because I was like, look, this is Pookie. And, like... And so she started petting Pookie and everything, and Pookie was like, all right, I'll allow it. Because normally, like I said, they would hide. Temporarily. Like I said, if you're all right, they'll come out because they're curious. The first thing they'll do is they'll come out and start smelling your stuff, like that you brought. Like if you brought a purse or shoes or whatever, like they'll come out and start smelling that. And then they'll look at you like, are you all right? Then they'll come over and be like, are they going to pet me? And then if you pet them, you'll be like, all right, you're all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Full Metal Nosferatu points out that the Boston accent is ended with A too, like water.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the South it's hard R's.
Yeah, park the car.
And I think that's an Irish influence. Because I noticed that the Irish use a lot of hard R's.
Well, some British accents do too.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah, that's not universal across the board that they drop R's.
Yeah.
There are actually some British accents that do kind of hit the R pretty hard.
Okay.
But it depends on where it is. Yeah, Zach says Warsh and Crick. Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, my dad's side of the family wasn't quite... Well, I don't know. They did say Warsh. For sure. And like I said, even my dad said Winder. You know what I mean? Rather than window. But they did say Warsh. Nobody said Crick, though. Not that I remember. Maybe they did. I think some of my extended relatives might have. We didn't have any Cricks around where we lived. You know. All right, CB's got to go. See everyone on Monday's movie review. All right, have a good one, CB. Like I said, maybe since John Goris brought it up and we happen to watch the trailer, we might do that. We might do that Burt Reynolds movie because it did look pretty funny. I think I saw it back in the day though because it looked kind of familiar. Let's see. Zach says here in Indiana we say Wash and Crick. That's right, you're in Indiana. For some reason I thought it was Ohio. Why did I think that? I was confused those two states. I don't know. Yeah, he says Crick is mostly an Ohio River Valley thing, seems like. Yeah. I don't know. I have heard it. Like, I think it's a southern thing too, but I don't know. I don't think I ever heard any of my relatives say that. But I have heard Warsh. That's pretty common. Zach says we are neighbors. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, aren't they right next to each other? But I didn't realize that Indiana is still Eastern time zone. I thought it was Central time zone. I'm bad at geography, as you can see. Oh my god. Zach says, then again, Indy isn't called the middle finger of the South for no reason. I have heard that, yeah. Full Metal Nosferatu says, Tom, well, he's not here right now, but I'll tell him when he comes back. Do you remember a lot of the Massachusetts towns and their pronunciation doesn't sound the way they're spelled? Woburn and Bill Ricca. Oh, yeah, I've noticed that, like, around a lot of... And actually, man, what's that channel that's on, YouTube? Lost in the Pond. That's that British guy that has lived in the U.S. for probably 15, 20 years at this point, and he has an American wife. I think he lives in the Midwest. He lived in Chicago. I don't know where he lives now. And he has, like, a very entertaining channel. Like, he's super funny. He has, like, a really dry, like, British sense of humor. And he does a lot of videos about, like, the differences. And he did, like, a whole series on names of places in the U.S. that were not pronounced anything like they looked.
Oh, you want a drink?
I mean, yeah. Florida's kind of a different thing. Like, a lot of our names, the names of our places are Spanish, or actually most of them are, like, Native American. So, some of them, like, you see them and you're like, how the fuck do you say that? You know what I mean? Because it's just, like, this big, long, you know, shit like Apalachicola and shit like that, you know what I mean? So we have, like, a lot of kind of, quote, like, Native American sounding names. Hiawassee, that kind of stuff. It's kind of a mix between that and Spanish names, is pretty much what Florida is. Yeah, Oracle says, oh, I know that channel. Yeah, he does great riffs on Brits versus US stuff. Yeah, he's super funny. I really like him a lot. I haven't watched any of his stuff in a while, but I used to watch him all the time. But he does a lot of stuff about language, about, like, pronunciation and just differences in general. And, like, he went through a whole thing where he bought a house here, and he was talking about, like, the differences in buying a house and, like, what people had in their houses there versus here and all this other kind of stuff. So it's, like, actually really interesting because he kind of goes into maybe, like, little shit that you wouldn't think about, like day-to-day life kind of shit that's slightly different, which is kind of more interesting to me than the bigger stuff. But he does a lot of stuff around language also, which I like. Yeah, Full Metal asked you, it's like, Tom, do you remember a lot of the Massachusetts towns and their pronunciation doesn't sound the way they're spelled?
Yeah. Worcester instead of Worcester.
Yeah.
Shit like that, yeah.
Yeah, Worcester.
Worcester.
They say Worcester.
Yeah.
Where it clearly looks like Worcester.
Yeah, yeah.
Or actually it looks like Worcester. There's not even an H in there.
Yeah, Worcester.
Because normally if it's just a C without an H, you would just pronounce it like a C. Either like a hard C or like an S. Because it usually has to have an H in there to pronounce it like a ch, but for some reason we have all agreed to do that. English is... I have to say, you know, I'm a native English speaker, so obviously it was, like, easy for me because, you know, I grew up speaking it. But I always admire people that learn it, like, later in life, because I'm like, this language is just fucking all over the place, man. I don't really know how anybody could learn it to any great fucking degree. Because it's just... There's rules, but not really. You know what I mean? It's very freewheeling.
Which language?
English.
English?
I've heard that it is, if not the most difficult to learn, like, later in life, at least, you know, one of the top three, like, most difficult to learn.
Although I listened to a guy, I told you about it, there was this Spanish author who's written a bunch of books. He wrote them all in English, though. And I saw a little clip from an interview. They said, are all your books in English? He goes, yeah, all my books are in English. And they said, why are they all in English? He goes, English is the perfect language to write a book in. And they go, what are you talking about? And he goes, well, and I speak Portuguese, which is a Latin language. And he's talking about Spanish. It's also, you know, Latin language. And he said, in Latin languages, the words in the sentence structure can be kind of airy-fairy. It's not real. It's kind of vague. He says Germanic words are very fucking solid. Like, for instance, and he goes, in English is a Germanic language that has a lot of Latin in it. For every Latin noun that you have in English, there's a Germanic version and a fucking Latin version of that noun. And he says, if I use the word spirit, that could mean a lot of different things. You know, in the spirit of 1776, my spirit died and went in heaven. Spirit can mean a lot of different things. It has a certain feel to it. But if I use the German version, the Germanic version in English, ghost, you know exactly what a ghost is.
Yeah.
And he says the English has a built-in bullshit detector. If the sentence and the word structures and the words being used in that sentence are Latin-based, there's deception there, or artistic license in there, depending on how you want to look at it. He goes, but if it's the Germanic versions, it's solid and real and definite.
Yeah, we have the option of using either approach.
Yeah.
I will note, too, that because I work for a client that does ads that appeal to both an English-speaking and a Spanish-speaking market, so I usually have to do ads in both English and Spanish. I will note, just from a graphic design standpoint, English is a lot easier to fit into a fucking design because Spanish is too fucking long.
Yeah.
To say the same fucking thing. So I'm always kind of like having to adjust the design because it's like I had this thing like all nice in English and then I have to do the Spanish version. I'm like, oh my God, it's like this long, like to say the same thing. Why? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So I have to like make it smaller and do all this other kind of stuff.
I speak Portuguese too because I'm bilingual. And English speakers don't understand the games that you can play with Latin language. It's hard to believe that there are laws written in Latin because Latin is oily and kind of vague. If you were trying to do a precise legal procedure based on a Latin language, there'd be a lot of leeway to cheat. But now, some have said, though, and some have pointed out that modern German has a lot of Latin in it too, and that the Germanic parts that are in English are not very Germanic. They're more like Icelandic. It's a lot more like Icelandic. And the Dutch is kind of like English in certain ways. But as a general rule of thumb, if a bunch of Latin or the Latin versions of the nouns are being used and a bunch of Greek being used, you're probably being bullshitted. And that's what that author said. And I was like, yeah, I never looked at that. That's right. That's right, because you can use sales techniques in Latin kind of languages that are kind of oil and paint over something that's real and make a fantasy out of something that way, because it's more etheric. Isn't that a good way to? Isn't that like an etheric word? A lot of artistic license can be taken. Not so much like a spirit. Shit, that could be a lot of different things. A ghost. You know exactly what a fucking ghost is. It's got chains and everything. Ooh.
He visits Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah.
Oracle, I love this quote, and I can't remember, I'm too drunk to remember who said it, but I've heard this quote before. The problem with defending the purity of the English language is that English is about as pure as a crib house whore. Yeah, we don't just borrow words. On occasion, English has pursued other languages down alleyways to beat them unconscious and rifle their pockets for new vocabulary.
Yeah. Yeah, English is a mixture of
I love that quote.
And another thing is
we just take whatever, and if there's not a word for it, we'll just make one up.
Another thing is there were other versions of English that went extinct. We're speaking the King's English, and that was the one that fucking Shakespeare wrote in. But there were other versions of it that are gone. I think Kentish was one of them. Cornish was another version of English. And then evidently there was times in London back in the 1400s where if you just fucking went to the other side of town, you couldn't understand anything they were saying. It was different versions of English they didn't translate. But that's all gone now.
Well, yeah, I mean,
does Kentish and Cornish still exist? I don't think so.
I'm not entirely sure. I don't think so.
My understanding is it was
English. Don't think that there are any native speakers. It's kind of like, and I don't know what the situation is now, but when I lived in Wales, I kind of went a little bit into the backstory of that, Whereas I feel like there weren't that many native Welsh speakers. Like a lot of people that were born in Wales spoke English, but they usually also spoke Welsh, particularly in the north.
But my understanding, Welsh was never English. That's
no, Welsh is completely different.
Yeah. My understanding, based on my reading, that was a long time ago that I read, is that Cornish and Kentish were English.
Now,
it's just that it wasn't an accent or a dialect of English. It was another.
It's a different version of English.
It was a different version of English. It was another language, but it was English.
Oracle says there's been a revival of Cornish lately.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it English? It's supposed to be. It was described to me as kind of like a parallel universe English.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Where they're close, but not really. They're not really the same language, and they have like the same genesis. They came out of the same quagmire, basically.
But I do kind of feel like there is because the same thing happened with Welsh, where people were trying to kind of make sure the language didn't die out, because a lot of people were not born, like, a lot of people weren't native speakers anymore. So they did try to, like my ex-husband who was Welsh, he grew up in his house speaking English, but the school he went to was all in Welsh.
Yeah.
So he learned everything in Welsh, so he could speak both languages, but and a lot of the people there can, although the older ones not so much, but I think the younger ones can. Klaus asked, you lived in Wales. Yeah, I did for a little while back in the 90s.
She was married to
because my first husband was Welsh, so we lived over there for a little while. Tiny, tiny little town. Oracle said about Cornish, it almost said, I've seen a short film in Cornish, and it almost sounds like modern English, but not quite.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's my understanding that the English that got accepted for mass production was the English that Shakespeare, whoever that was, if there was more than one William
I've been wanting to do a show about the Shakespeare controversy for a long time, because that's fascinating. I think he was a real guy, but it's like, I mean, he was obviously a real guy.
I think it was a brand.
But I don't really know if other people wrote shit like under his name.
He might have subcontracted.
It might have been like a house, because you know how some like paperback companies, like that write romances or westerns or whatever, like they'll have like a house name, and like other authors will write under that name.
That's what I'm
imagining. It could have been that.
I think it was a group of 4 or 5 guys.
So it could have been that.
There may have been a William Shakespeare. He probably contracted a lot of that out, subbed a lot of it out.
Yeah, I think he was a real guy. I don't know if he wrote all that stuff. But like I said, I'd like to do a show about that.
Because there was a lot of shit that he wrote. But it was my understanding that was decided to be modern English because because Shakespeare was writing in it, and that was the English that the king spoke at the time, and that was the accepted standard English. But Shakespeare wrote in the king's English.
Victor said Shakespeare was an AI bot. Wouldn't that be something? I'm sure you can.
Killer sense of humor.
I'm sure. Oh yeah, some of his shit's like super funny. Like and a lot of the stuff in there is like real dirty, but like
it's hidden. A lot of Oscar Wilde games going on in there.
Well, I told you before, like one of the Oscar Wilde was funny as shit. Like one of the funniest things I ever read was The Importance of Being Earnest.
Yeah.
That play was just like, oh my god, that had me in fucking stitches.
I remember one of my favorite movies is Romeo and Juliet, the one that's got fucking Claire Danes and Leonardo DiCaprio when he was young.
The Baz Luhrmann one.
Yeah, it's really good. And it's got a good soundtrack that goes with it. And it's taking place in a parallel universe, modern kind of like Central America type place. And there was a lot of shit in there that's like, man, are they taking a bunch of poetic licenses? Mercurio really? Why is he dressed as a woman? What is going on with all? Did they really take drugs? They didn't take drugs in fucking Shakespeare.
What are you talking about? Yeah, they did.
I looked up all that shit and goes, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
People have been taking drugs since forever.
They got high. And they said it in a fucking poetic way. They got high before they went to the party.
Yeah.
Like Mercutio said that he was in love with a type of love that he could never have. And going through all this fucking shit. If you read between the lines, he's telling fucking Romeo that he's in love with him, and that he can never have it because gay didn't fly back then, and that's exactly what they were talking about. Exactly what they were talking. All that shit was,
and everybody knew.
Everybody knew back then. You
just had to couch it in
so the Basil
sideways kind of turns.
So that particular version of Shakespeare, that movie, is actually accurate. That's what they're talking about. It's a beautiful movie.
So people may think, oh, they modernized it.
No, that's not. That's what it says.
See, the thing about it though is that's the reason they're still doing adaptations of Shakespeare stuff, and that's the reason that you can do quote unquote modern takes on it.
Yeah.
Because everything in there is still relatable to modern audiences.
Yeah, and the storytelling's fucking awesome. You can't believe that shit's written in the fucking 1500s, or is it maybe 1400s? No, 1500s, I think. I mean, it was so good that even the Japanese fucking loved those stories and rewrote them. Kurosawa.
Yeah.
Fucking rebooted a lot of fucking. So the Japanese even go like, man, this is great storytelling. So.
Well, isn't fucking
Shakespeare?
Isn't the Lion King the Disney one? That's just a retelling of Macbeth, essentially, kind of, or not Macbeth, King Lear, I guess.
So the Shakespeare brand, whether that was one man or a group of men working under a guy, they got English storytelling down to the fucking science. That was, classic. That's why, to this day.
Oh, it's Hamlet. Sorry.
Hamlet. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Hamlet.
That's why to this day.
I knew it was one Shakespeare play. I can't remember which one it was.
Hamlet. What was the name of that fucking the Norseman? It was the Northman or the Northman?
The Northman.
What's that?
The Northman.
The Northman. Yeah, you gotta
see
that. That's the original version of Hamlet. And it's like Conan, and it homages the movie Conan. It's fucking great movie. I don't think I bought that one though. I think I need to get that one.
Yeah, that was a great movie. We saw that in the theater.
Yeah.
Full Metal Nosferatu says Tromeo and Juliet is my favorite, narrated by Lemmy. I still haven't got around to watching that. I do want to watch it one of these days though. I'm sure it's a hoot. Fucking fucking trauma. I still can't bring myself to watch Monster though. I'm just not gonna. We did watch. Didn't we watch? Was the Ginger Dead Man? That was a trauma movie, wasn't it?
I think so.
With Gary Busey.
Terrible.
It was terrible. Most of their movies are terrible.
Probably would have liked it in the day that it came out. I was like, man, why am I watching this shit?
Yeah. Oracle says the thing to remember is that Shakesy P, that's what we call him, was the Stephen King of his day. Yeah, I mean, he might have been just like super prolific. I'm not really sure. I'm not taking a stand on it one way or the other because it doesn't affect my life in any way. But, yeah, it could have been that other people wrote the plays too. But like I said, at this stage, does it really matter? I mean, the fact that people are still reading his shit this many centuries later, how many writers can fucking say that people are still reading your shit like this many years later? So, was it one guy? Was it a couple of guys? What difference does it make? Oh, that's right, Charles Band. That's right. Why did I think it was Trauma? What was I thinking of? We even reviewed that movie, I think, I don't think we did this past Christmas. We might have done it at Christmas before. Because I was like, I gotta fucking see that, man. It's Gary Busey. Although even he just does the voice. It's like he's not really in it, but like the first 5 minutes of the movie. Victor says our English class in high school took us to watch Romeo and Juliet in the theater. Which one? Like that one, the Baz Luhrmann one? Because that's a good one. Because there's a lot of versions. Not my favorite Shakespeare play, though. I'm trying to think of all the Shakespeare we read in high school. We did, I don't know if we did Romeo and Juliet. We read Macbeth. I remember that. We read Midsummer Night's Dream. I remember that one. That was cool. We did Hamlet. Those might have been...
Didn't you do Taming of the Shrew?
Oh, yeah. Taming of the Shrew.
Yeah.
And I have seen a couple good movie adaptations of that. That's actually pretty amazing.
See, there's a shit ton of Shakespeare plays that they're just not famous anymore.
Wasn't there like Titus Andronicus?
Yeah.
Which was easily like his goriest, most horror movie one.
Yeah.
They made that into a movie with Anthony Hopkins. What year did that come out? It's been a while, but that was actually like pretty decent. Maybe we should review that one of these days too. Oracle says, I'm rather fond of Hamlet, especially the Kevin Kline version. Oh, I saw that. Kevin Kline's great.
Yeah, Victor, man, I'll tell you, the DiCaprio one with Claire Danes, that's the best one for Romeo and Juliet. And I think it's the one that most closely captures what fucking Shakespeare's talking about.
West Side Story was also based on Romeo and Juliet.
Basically the same thing. Yeah. But the thing is that that's a ripoff of it or a reboot. This,
Yeah. Well, I mean, Shakespeare's dead. He's not going to sue you.
Romeo and Juliet. That was it. Yeah, it's in the, what do you call it?
The public domain.
It's in the public domain now. Yeah.
So you can do all kind of shit with the Shakespeare. That's why like so many people are doing versions of it. Or you can just like write a version of it, but like modernized, but with different character names, and like call it your own story. That's fair. Which happens a lot. Oracle says, I once heard of a version of Hamlet that was set on a spaceship. See, that's what I mean. The stories are so universal that as long as you kind of get all the character relationships and drama right, you can kind of set it anywhere. You know? I'm not one of those people that's like a big stickler about, oh, it has to be just like it was when it was written or something like that. Like, people can update and reboot things like for the modern era to make it more accessible to, because obviously like some of the shit they were talking about back then, people aren't going to know what they're talking about now, because that's, that was centuries ago. So in a way, I really I like that Baz Luhrmann one because it stayed true to the spirit of the play, like it was accurate.
And so was the dialogue. The dialogue's
the dialogue is all the same.
What I liked about it was the trappings.
Yeah.
It's Central America, Catholic and Protestant. Remember that? It was also Latin and Anglo, because that's in the original too. The Capulets and the Montagues. Okay, they're two different ethnic groups. So it's an interracial relationship basically, and two different religions. And it's happening in a place where nobility rules. So there isn't a normal rule of law. So you can have your own fucking.
Well, they're kind of like big corporate families, is what it is, kind of.
Well, you could have your own bodyguards. Remember, they all had their own bodyguards, and they could fight in public.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays that would be cartels.
Yeah. Cartels
and gangs. That's what they were. Remember, the sheriff steps in and goes, "Y'all need to stop fighting." Remember, there will be peace. I don't remember his exact line. All are punished. Remember, after they find fucking both Romeo and Juliet dead, he goes, "Remember, all are punished." Yeah. So in other words, stop all this fucking fighting, man.
You knock it off.
You've both been punished. They're dead. Yeah, it was epic.
Full Metal Mass Party said green eggs in Hamlet.
Yeah.
Please tell me that really exists, because I want to see it. It's Shakespeare, Dr. Seuss crossover.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Oracle says, Tom and Jenny, have you seen the TV series Slings and Arrows? It's set in a modern-day Shakespeare company. Season 2 has a performance of Macbeth in modern military dress. Yeah. Ooh, that might be worth fucking seeing. For some reason, I just thought of the Dario Argento movie Opera, which is not based on Macbeth, but actually a large part of the plot is centered around a performance of Macbeth. And a bunch of crows and stuff, too. I'm just saying, see Opera, the Dario Argento movie. It's one of his better later ones. Later meaning 1987. You know what I mean? They kind of turned to shit after the 90s, but you know what I mean. That one was good, though. Might have been his last. I don't want to say that was his last good one. I think his last good one was probably the Stendhal Syndrome, which I think came out in 96. But after that, didn't really love any of them, gotta say. Full Metal says, Class of Nukem High, Toxic Avenger, or what is it? Sergeant Kabuki Man? They're Trauma classics. Yeah, I've seen Class of Nukem High. I've seen Toxic Avenger. I haven't seen Sergeant Kabuki Man, though. So I might have been thinking of that, but I don't know. Like, I don't know why I thought Gingerbread Man. It was, like I said, maybe I was thinking of Monster. Gingerbread Man kind of looks like a turd. I don't know. I don't know why I was thinking it was Trauma. It wasn't tacky enough to be Trauma. You know what I mean? Not quite trashy enough. Yeah, I can't believe that I didn't remember The Lion King was based on fucking Hamlet, of all things. Tammy says, speaking of Stephen King, The Long Walk should be coming out soon.
Which one was that?
That was remember that one with the it was like a contest and all the boys had to walk in this, and if you fell behind or something like that, they'd shoot you. It was like this dystopian.
Yeah.
It was in
Running Man.
It was no. It was in the Bachman books.
Okay, yeah.
It was one of the 4 stories in the Bachman books.
Okay.
Along with Rage and The Running Man and whatever the fourth one was. What was the other one that was in the back of my books? Tammy probably remembers. I'm too drunk to remember. But yeah, I mean, Tammy was saying for a long time that they should make that into a movie or a series, and they finally have, it seems. So, yeah, I definitely would be watching that. Although there's so much, like, Stephen King shit. Wasn't there that whole fucking series, Castle Rock, that I never even saw? I think I saw maybe the first episode. I'm like, wow, this is pretty good, but, like, I never finished it.
I vaguely remember.
I never finished it. And there might be another one out.
People wouldn't be talking about it.
Well, no, people did talk about it. I just never got around to watching it. Like I said, it's just there's so much stuff I need to watch, and it's I just don't have time. You know what I mean? Tammy says Mark Hamill is playing the general. Ooh, okay, so that's yeah, I definitely have to watch that now. I really liked that story. Like, it seems like there wouldn't have been much inherent drama in, like, just people walking, but I don't know. I thought it was, like, really compelling, the story.
I think it's strange that Mark Hamill's still around. I remember when he did The Guyver. He was after Star Wars. He did nothing but bullshit movies.
No, like he's massive. He does voice acting.
Yeah, they said he did voice acting.
Like that's kind of probably what he's known for nowadays.
The Joker. That's really. They said he was great at that. But he just.
I also love. He turned up on the new MST3K.
Oh yeah.
Like he did, yeah. And they were all like super jazzed.
Evidently, his Joker's like one of the fan favorite, a Batman fan favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and he's done, like, he hasn't just done that. He's done, like, that's kind of probably what he was mostly known for, was doing voice stuff.
Yeah.
Like, other than being in Star Wars. Mm-hmm. That was kind of, like, his calling, I guess. But, yeah, he did all kind of stuff. Randa says, I heard Romeo and Juliet is bad. Romeo and Juliet. So it's like, so Romeo is like a gnome. I take it. And maybe Juliet is like a regular person. I don't know. I might watch that.
Evidently, I heard today that Star Trek is kind of like up in the air now. Fucking, Kurtzman, I think is the guy who's running it. They're getting rid of him. Evidently, the people that behind Star Trek says no, he's got to go. Fucking, they think the series has been ruined. They want to totally get rid of the fucking Star Trek of the past fucking 5, 6, 7 years, or however long that shit's going on, and they want to go back to like the roots of fucking Star Trek. Was I saying Star Trek or was I saying Star Wars?
You said Star Trek.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm drunk.
Yeah, I know.
So evidently they're going to try to come out with a new, more traditional Star Trek. Kind of like the Next Generation or something like that. We'll have to see. But I think Star Trek has to... They say it's just... The money's just not there. Nobody's watching it. The streaming platforms didn't make any money on it. That whole streaming thing is, I think, a bad idea a lot of times for these things. Because these platforms will pay for their own programs, and it's just more material up there. So everything's being kind of democratized. You have a bunch of series that don't get very many views, but they suck up a lot of money. And they're all surviving on the back of maybe 2 or 3 good series. They need to sell all that shit a la carte.
Honestly, I kind of feel like that's how the movie system has worked the whole time. Yeah. It's that, you're always going to have like a few big quote-unquote tentpole movies that are raking in all the money for the studios. And on the back of that, they can make some smaller movies that maybe wouldn't make it that much money, but that people still wanted to make.
But then what they're trying to do is they're trying to get people to go on their platforms.
Yeah, they're trying to get people to pay the subscription.
That's a stupid way.
Well, and a lot of them also still have commercials, so they have advertisers, so they make money that way also.
They need to just go to a central place like fucking Amazon. All right, have that shit on Amazon or Hulu, and sell it season by season.
Well, they generally do that. I mean, most things. Yeah. But I guess like if you're Hulu or Shudder or whoever, and you have an original series that you paid for. Yeah. Then that's going to be exclusive to you. But I feel like most other things you can usually buy most of that on Amazon, like either episode by episode or season by season.
Yeah,
like most things are available like that, I would think already. So, but like I said, some streaming services do make their own content, and at least for a little while, I'm sure it has to do with like contractual kind of shit, but it's like, you know, for X amount of time,
it's only available.
It's only available on
right.
this streaming service because we want people to sign up for it to watch it or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that's understandable. They're trying to like do their thing, and there's so many streaming services that you have to compete. So
I wouldn't want a streaming service. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't even worry about a streaming service. I would just produce the fucking series, right? And then have another platform fucking sell them for me, and we take.
I think some do that.
That's what I would do. Yeah.
I think that's kind of the way to go about it. If you're a smaller studio or like independent type filmmakers, they usually will make shit or at least pitch shit and be like, hey, I'm going to make this documentary or this series or whatever. And then they'll see who bids and like who buys it, you know?
On the back of that trailer that I saw, you can go on YouTube and look at it. Fucking Alien Earth. I think isn't it called Alien Earth? I think is the name of it. The new Alien series. It fucking looks awesome, man. It looks really good. I mean, the visuals are just as good as Prometheus, fucking Covenant, and fucking Alien. What was the last one we saw? Alien.
Romulus.
Alien Romulus. That's how good it looks. And those movies all looked great. And just from what they showed, teasing the plot, man, it looked really good. And they were mixing Alien and Blade Runner together. Which fucking, yes, thank you. It's going to be great. Because that's the way it is. Ridley Scott's future is the same future.
Tammy says there's a YouTube channel called the Stephen King Book Club. Yeah, I'm subscribed to that, actually. And he does a great series of The Long Walk as a play-by-play sports broadcast. Oh my god, that's awesome. What a good idea. I'm going to have to go watch that. I have seen some of the stuff on that channel, though. Full Metal Nosferatu says, ever heard Hamill do Yoda's voice? He could replace Frank Oz one day. Yeah, he's really good at like voice acting. Oracle says Star Trek Strange New Worlds is great.
I've heard that it's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
And Victor says Alien Romulus was so good. Yeah, it was one of my favorite horror films of 2024. It was like way better than I was expecting. Because look, I love Alien. I love Aliens. But, you know, another Alien movie is coming out. I'm like, yawn. But, like, we saw it, and I was kind of like, man, that was really good. It surprised me the same way that the prequel to The Omen, which I did not give a whiff of a fart about seeing.
I didn't see it.
Called The First Omen.
I didn't see it.
But then I kept seeing it turn up, like, on all these lists, like, man, this is really good. And, like, I watched it, I'm like, fuck, that was really good. It's like, who would have thought?
You must have watched that on your own.
I did, yeah, I reviewed it.
Oh, man, I gotta see that. It's good.
I reviewed it. Yeah, it's a prequel.
Okay, yeah.
It takes place in the early 1970s.
Oh, yeah. Sounds good.
And it leads up to The Omen, yeah.
Yeah, see, and I liked the Omen movies. That Final Conflict was fucking good, too, man.
Yeah. I was, like, actually surprised. I was shocked by how good that was.
There were 3 old Omen movies, right? Omen?
Yeah.
Well, Omen
2, and then Omen the Final Conflict with Sam Neill.
Yeah, I remember liking them all.
I remember all of them were pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the first one's the OG, and that's the best one, but they were all pretty decent. But yeah, I was actually shocked. I wouldn't have even watched it if I hadn't seen it turn up on a lot of people's lists. Like, wow, this is one of the best movies of the year. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And, like, it came up on...
So there's 4 of them.
It was on Hulu or something like that. And I watched it. I was like, wow, that was excellent. And they really took their time to, like, get it period correct. It's set in Italy in the 1970s. And it's about a nun that gets embroiled in this whole... And it's, like, really, really good. I was like, wow, I just was not expecting...
That means there's 4 good Omen movies.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to be any good.
There wasn't any bad ones then, what you're saying.
Mm-mm.
You know, there are very few where there's a series that long and there aren't any bad ones. I can only think of fucking Psycho, that whole series.
All of those
they're
were
all
good.
I think
All
there's
four of them. I think there's 4 of them.
And then
Phantasm. All 5 of those
all movies
are definitely worth watching.
Yeah,
I think.
Yep. That's a movie it's making its own lore as it goes, and it's sticking to its own rules, and it's definitely a labor of love. Whoever wrote those things knew those things very well and did a great job in expanding that lore as you went, and fucking cool shit would happen. And Reggie is bald ass fucking getting all the hot babes, and then he has to kill them because it turns out they're deadites.
I love that they just made him the focus of the whole series going forward, because he was obviously the best character. Well, other than the Tall Man, obviously. But Reggie was just such a great fucking protagonist. So I like that they centered it around
And you
him.
would think if something was kind of hokey as Phantasm, it wouldn't be any good. No, it's fucking really good. Good storytelling.
I will always get a bat for Phantasm because
Yeah.
look how fucking weird.
Yeah, weird. And
The
it's very
premise of that
original.
movie is.
What made that so great is it original.
And it just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It just kind of came out of nowhere with this bizarre ass story. And it was like super weird and super creepy, and I'm just like, all right. I mean, I will always kind of respect like somebody that's doing that. Something that off the fucking wall. You know what I mean? Just, I don't know. I love Phantasm. Let me see. What else happened? Oracle says, Star Trek Strange New Worlds made me revise my opinion of the menagerie. After watching a season of Christopher Pike, I found myself thinking, hell yes, Bob, go ahead and break all the records. I'm going to have to watch that now. Did y'all see season 2 of Star Wars Andor? Really good. I haven't even seen the first season. Like I said, I get so behind on shit. And like just when I think maybe I should start watching like this series or that series or something like that, then I just get sucked into like some true crime series or something, and then I spend a long time watching that, and I don't know. I have such a huge backlog, and I have a huge backlog of movies too that I have to watch. I don't know what I'm gonna do. One of these days I'll watch all this shit because I keep scrolling through there, and it's like, oh, I've seen this. Oh, but I want to see. Oh, I want to see that too. Oh, I want to see that too. And it's just like I just never have time.
Man, I'm getting hungry.
Again?
Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
What do you want? What do you want to eat?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Go up to the store and get something to eat, maybe.
I thought probably you would say that. All the food we were talking about on the show, it finally like made you hungry.
Well, we can get.
Some people are saying Star Wars Andor is really good too.
Yeah, I've heard that that's actually a good series, and that it came. Disney fucked Star Wars up so bad that that franchise has become basically a trash franchise. They can't sell any of the. They can't sell merchandise from it, the toys, all that shit, and it just doesn't fucking sell. All that shit's constantly on fucking sale. You know what I mean? It's just trying to get rid of it. There's guys making videos of fucking that there's still original toys that came out for The Force Awakens. That was a long time ago now. 10 years. It's, I think, isn't it? Guys, do the math. I think that might have been 10 years now. Because wasn't that the same year as I think that was the same year as fucking Fury Road. That about 10 years. Anyway, they'll still like, look at that. That's from fucking Force Awakens, and that's an original, and it's still sitting there on the shelf. But now they're like at Aldi's and shit like that. Not Aldi's, but they're at fucking Ross, Dress for Less or some shit like that. But it's a trash property now, and that it had some really good products every now and then. Fucking Mandalorian season 1 and 2, fucking epic. Rogue, what's the one? Fucking what was that? Not Rogue Warrior. What's it? Rogue Squadron.
What are you talking about?
What's the name of it?
Rogue One.
Rogue One, yeah. Rogue One was fucking great. And they say the Andor's really good.
Man,
But
they
kind of lost the fandom. I mean, the whole purpose of Star Wars was to sell toys and merchandise. That's really where all the money was coming from, and that doesn't sell, so they failed. And they just a story like that really can only be told by one man. That way, or at least one person. Let's just say it that way. That way, everything is within the same tone and the same theme, and there isn't any conflicts in the storylines. Star Trek Next Generation did a good job. That had a coherent fucking story arc, and that was a bunch of different writers working together, but they knew the story real well. Some of this Star Wars material that came out, I'm just gonna call it had the tone of fan fiction, and whoever wrote that didn't know much about Star Wars or any of the expanded universe lore that had been around for fucking decades, you know. And there was a bunch of shit they could have tapped into that they didn't for licensing reasons. It's just Star Wars brought a fucking Disney bought a Class A high-end franchise and didn't want to fucking pay like copyright or what do you call it, or they didn't want to pay licensing fees when they could have made a shit ton of money because there was all kinds of stuff they could have gone back into. They could have done fucking some of the shit out of the damn video games. What was that N64 video game, Shadows of the Empire? That has with that fucking bounty hunter was the main character. That would have been a good movie. They could have used that character. They could have used shit that from the expanded universe made all kinds of money out of it. From what I saw, only that what's his name? Jon Favreau. Favreau. Yeah, he's the only guy that really kind of understood Star Wars.
Well, he's a super fan.
Yeah, he understood it, and he understood the tone and everything. But they didn't put him in charge. He should have been in charge of everything. They had Kathleen Kennedy in charge, and she wanted Star Wars to be something it wasn't. You know, and tried to pushing it out too far. You had to stay. It's just like Marvel. You know what Marvel is, and they kind of kept Marvel pretty good. But then Marvel started to straighten out sucks. But for a long time, Marvel I thought was pretty good at what it did. Do I like those Marvel movies? Nah.
Well, it's not really my thing.
Yeah, nah.
I'm not into those big spectacle movies.
You go,
as such.
you watch
Some
it,
of them are fun, but
you have a good time watching it, and then when it's over, you can't remember a single fucking thing that happened. The only one that I liked that was from the Marvel Universe were the Venom series. I remembered those. But a lot of the other ones I couldn't remember. And
well, because the Venom movies were kind of just more focused on one character.
One person, yeah. And one person's story.
And it wasn't like this big world-spanning.
Yeah. And then, fucking, that one more recent Spider-Man was pretty good. The one where they bring back the Goblin and all the old villains that got killed by Tobey Maguire fucking Spider-Man, and they're dealing with different universes.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. I liked that one. But really, the best Spider-Man, later Spider-Man, was Into the Spider-Verse, the animated one. I thought that was fucking spot on. I was like,
yeah, I really liked the animated one.
Yeah, because those stories are easier to tell in animation. They make a lot more sense in animation than live action.
Oracle says Tom Andor is probably right up your alley, especially since it's a prequel to Rogue One.
Is it? Okay.
And then Oracle said the Werewolf by Night TV movie was an interesting bit of Marvel. I remember seeing the trailers for that and thinking that looked pretty good, but I never got around to watching it.
Yeah.
She said, plus Werewolf by Night had an old school Hammer horror vibe I really dug. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it looked really cool like that, but I never watched it.
I'll check Andor out. I think they have it on Amazon or Hulu. I think it's on Hulu, I think.
Well, it's probably on Disney Plus, so like I said, I have Hulu.
Okay.
And I could pay, I think it's only $2 extra.
I saw the ads. It's not just on Disney. It's on new ones. I think it's on Hulu also now. Because it's old.
It might be.
It's pretty old now.
Well, I'll look on there then.
Even the heavy critics of new Star Wars say that that's a good one. But also the same heavy critics will say Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 are great. I have Season 1 on Blu-ray. Like a bootleg Blu-ray. It's fucking good. I need to watch that one again.
Yeah, I really liked The Mandalorian.
Yeah, but they say Season 3, it went sideways. You know. And it had to do with the firing of Gina Carano was part of the reason why it went sideways. Favreau didn't like that, and they had to rewrite everything, and evidently the rewritten version isn't very good. You know. He couldn't repair it.
But yeah, I definitely want to watch that Werewolf by Night thing.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing, that was been a while back now, but I remember seeing the trailers for it and thinking that looks pretty cool. You know?
For what?
Werewolf by Night, that Marvel thing that was kind of like a... Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think we saw that together, didn't we?
No, I saw the trailer for it.
That's what I'm saying. Wasn't I with you?
Yeah, but I don't know if you remembered it or not.
Okay.
I don't know if you remembered it.
That's out now? We can see it?
It's been out for a while.
All right.
Like, it came out a long time
I didn't
ago.
realize that was Marvel.
I remember seeing the trailer, like, ages ago.
I saw the fucking trailer for That one Marvel one, wasn't it Morbius, the vampire?
Morbius, yeah. Somebody was just talking about
the
that.
The trailer looked good, but they said it movie sucked. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, Full Metal says the Marvel Sony Spider-Verse spin-offs have been misfires. Morbius, Madam Web, and Kraven the Hunter. Oh, I remember seeing the trailer for Kraven the Hunter. That didn't look that good even from the trailer.
Didn't look good from the trailer.
Now, Morbius looked good from the trailer.
Looked good from the trailer, yeah.
But we never went to see it because everyone said,
they're
nah.
like, fuck that.
You know what I mean?
I
might watch it for free, but...
That first Into the Spider-Verse fucking animated one, we saw that in the theater. We loved it.
Yeah, that was really
We liked
good.
it, yeah.
That was really good. I really liked that.
I don't know how it did fucking financially, but...
I thought it did pretty well, but I don't really remember.
I wanted to see a whole movie of Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah, they should definitely make a Spider-Man Noir movie.
It's black and white.
I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah, fucking kind of like a private investigator.
Yeah, because I like that. I like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Now, Oracle says Werewolf by Night first came out in black and white, and it works beautifully that way. So it was kind of like an old school, like Universal monster movie. I saw the color version they put out later, and it's okay, but I think the black and white version is better. Okay. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Full Metal also says the Obi-Wan limited series was awesome. Okay. See, like I said, there's so much fucking content out there that I can't keep up with it. It's just overwhelming. You know?
I don't really care to keep up with it. There's so much other stuff I'm into, you know?
Well, that's what I mean. It's like I keep up on horror movies. I don't always get to see new ones as soon as I want to. But there's a lot of old ones that I still haven't seen and that I need to keep up on too. But, you know, series is like a bigger time commitment, obviously. But there are still a lot of... And like I said, I still have to get through... Because I'm still working through old series for my other channel. I'm still working through Thriller with Boris Karloff. I'm still working through Night Gallery. I mean, at least we got Kolchak done. We got that out of the way. Because I had been meaning to do that because I'd done the movies. But, man, I still have so much Thriller and Night Gallery to do. It's, like, not even funny. And I've started going just, like, one episode per video because I can't. I was doing, like, 6 episodes per video before, and it was just, like, too much work. So, I will eventually get to them. And I started writing today. If you watch any of my videos over on Scare Salon, I've been doing another series on there called My Favorite 5 horror movies from every year since I was born. So I'm up to 1985 now, and so I'm working on the 1985 script at the moment. So I started working on that today. We'll see how long it takes for me to finish it. It'll be a while probably, but I realized I hadn't put anything up on the Scare Salon channel for a while, and that was the next thing that needed to come up, so I started working on that. All right, so
I think we should shut it down.
You seem like you want to go get something to eat.
Yeah.
Like I said, we ate a little bit before, like an hour or two before the show started, but that was a while back.
You guys have a nice night. Tomorrow, me and Jen are going to go out partying.
We'll get into some trouble,
yeah,
probably, as we usually do.
Oh, yeah. It's good trouble. It's good trouble.
Not bad trouble.
Good trouble.
We're not going to get arrested, hopefully.
No.
Hopefully we don't get arrested. I mean, we could get arrested, but we hope not. All right, so thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us on this Friday evening. Hope you guys have a good weekend, and we will see you guys again on Monday night. Like I said, don't know what the movie's going to be. Maybe we'll do that Burt Reynolds one, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so have a good one, you guys. Ooh, the cat just walked over my foot. I was like, what the fuck was that? Yeah, so have a good weekend, you guys. We will see you guys again for the movie review on Monday night. Good night.